Leave meeting.
Yep.
Every time. Why do they have to put
Every
it on
time.
that side?
It's not only is it on that side, it's the bigger button.
I know.
Take it up with Zoom. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to Tales from the Forgotten Troop. If you are enjoying what we're doing, there are many ways to support the show. We have lots of affiliate links on our Beacons page. Links to that are everywhere. You don't even have to look that hard to find them. Same song and dance we do every week. But you can get stuff from Hero Forge, Zenny Optical, Humble Bundle, Epic water filters, and more. And we have a Redbubble, which is great. You can get stuff like this hat.
There's also like a lot of like Buffet do crime, and that's my favorite design, honestly.
We have lots of new
stickers for your Void water
Pride
bottles.
merch.
Yeah, there's Pride merch on there.
We also have a coffee where you can give us straight up cash, which is always good. Tip your faves, and we're obviously your faves, so tip us.
Yeah, just give us money randomly. Like, just walk up to us and hand us money. Like, I won't even question it. I'll just be like, thanks.
And, of course, as always, follow us on social media, join our Discord, get updates about the show, do all the wonderful stuff.
Do the things.
Do the things. Just do it. Just
also, like, subscribe to our YouTube. We want to make money someday.
And, like, videos. All the videos.
All the videos. And you can comment your favorite color on every single one.
Every single video.
You just comment your answer to our icebreaker questions.
Yeah.
Ooh,
do that.
Or your favorite color, whatever.
Or your favorite character.
Yeah, join in, play along. Experience the emotional trauma for yourself.
Yes. Or you could tell us your favorite psychological disorder that Joe has.
It's literally a grab bag. All right.
What's like that one book that psychologists use to diagnose things?
The DSM-5?
DSM-5. You just check to see if Joe's got it.
Flip to a random page, don't look and point, and see what you land on.
Damn.
Like a 40% shot.
There is.
But
at least when we go to Access B. No, they don't have accesses anymore. I'm just kidding. DSM-4.
No, it just went right over my head. I had no clue what you're talking about.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
But for now, let's go ahead and go around, have everyone introduce their characters. And the question I have for you today is, what was something your character did that got them into the most trouble with their parents?
I have one. So
I hate you, Charlie.
Is it existing for Cynthia?
Yeah, being born.
It got dark quick.
Brianna, I played Cynthia.
It was the day the condom broke.
Echo. Actually, that's true. It was the day the condom broke, but that's not what I was going to say. The thing that Cynthia did of her own volition that got her in the most trouble was the thing that actually got her soft kicked out of the house, which was making out in the coat room of her sister's wedding and then getting caught.
Sylvie. Sylvie was there.
Yep. Good times.
Whether she was one of the coats or the other person, we're still not sure.
She was described or disguised as the other person. They didn't know it was
wearing a coat.
We were trying to cause a scandal for what it's worth.
That poor other person who has no idea what happened.
They just next morning they woke up and was like, "Why is my image plastered on every tabloid in Halcyon City?"
I didn't even go to that wedding.
Maybe if you
hate me.
Maybe if people join the Ko-Fi, we can do like a little skit of like what that guy's reaction was to reading, I mean, Charlie can do a little skit. And I'll make like a graphic design of that paper.
Yes.
Just do like a montage of all the like backstory and side scenes we have implied throughout the show.
Along with Jenna psychoanalyzing all of our characters.
Yeah. If we get enough Ko-Fi subscribers, I will. I haven't determined what that number is yet, but I'll do it.
I do at some point want to do my quote-unquote TED Talk about everything that went into making Joe, because Charlie knows this. I genuinely went a little insane trying to craft Joe.
No, we're not questioning that.
That's 63 pages.
Page backstory.
Yeah,
speaks for itself.
I had
63-page backstory and
paragraphs.
14 more of supplementary material, which still doesn't cover everything.
I named 4 NPCs.
Same. I think I about the same
in the
amount.
heat of the moment.
I based one of them on my favorite YouTube psychologist. So, you know. But any resemblance is completely coincidental.
Too technically, because it's one person and a dog.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, who's next?
I guess I'll go next. So I'm Tess. I play Sylvie, aka Valkyrie. And Sylvie doesn't really have parents, but we'll go with her face superiors on this one. And Sylvie abandoned a mission and her entire team within the hunt because she didn't want the responsibility of leadership and got herself exiled from this Fae with a mission to prove herself.
How's that going?
That's debatable.
The jury's still out.
I mean, I have a cat and a deer, so whether or not that's positive.
That's a win.
Someone gave me the cat at this point, so
winning.
I
can go next, Roxy.
Or the cat is a spy.
That is also a possibility.
That's true.
Joe still hasn't seen the cat.
Did we tell him that we have a cat that can teleport? Because I think it's funnier if the cat just teleports in.
We haven't told Joe like anything.
Joe is missing a lot of context right now.
We glossed over 2
a lot of things. A lot of things we glossed over.
Yep.
I can go next. I'm Jenna, and I play Roxy DeMarco, aka Calamity. And the worst in Calamity, the worst trouble she ever got. I don't know that like her parents actually like are like very like punishment based. Like I feel like they're more like, you know, restorative justice based parents. So like now you got to do something to make up for it, like make the person that you hurt whole. But she gotten with this group of you know, girls who were making bad choices and, you know, ended up in juvie for stealing. It was not a motor vehicle, which is what Roxy's most disappointed in herself about, because if she's going to steal something, it might as well be have a motor car on it. Yeah.
What you need to be disappointed about is the fact that you got caught.
Oh,
ultimately.
Yes, that's true. But this was before she had superpowers, so she was in juvie, and Uncle Paulie had to get her out.
Yeah, so this was the start of the phobia of confinement.
No, I don't think she's afraid of confinement then.
No.
All right. Go ahead.
Do you want to go?
I think I've got something.
Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Crow, alternatively just Crow, and I'll be playing Joe Hatathli, aka Watchdog. And I don't think there was a moment where Joe got yelled at by both of his parents, because they separated when he was pretty young. I can think that there might have been a moment while he and his mom, before they had gotten to Halcyon, I think Joe had decided to invite over a school friend, not really realizing that his mother was kind of ashamed about the fact that they were living out of a car at the time. So he was just like, yeah, come over to my house. Don't think it went well from there.
And there was no house.
For sure, it was that he was lying or covering something up or keeping something from his mom.
No,
That's starting to
have you met
That's
this
a
man?
new development.
He didn't lie until he met all of us.
The compulsive lying didn't start until recently. Got it.
That was an us
The
thing.
compulsive lying didn't start until he had things to hide.
Exactly. And up until recently, Joe did not have much to hide. And then his life went to shit.
That's unfortunate.
That's debatable.
I'm Maria. I play Elena, aka Easy Living, and probably the worst thing to Jim she's ever done was straight up buy a Mexican restaurant just so nobody would have to pay the bill.
Hey, that one happened on free.
Unfortunately,
No
it's like
dominance
it's
battle.
pretty profitable, so it's turning a profit. So he's not like that upset about it, and they just seem to be like their own self-contained, like the Vatican, their own self-contained little country within a bigger thing. So that one turned out okay, but maybe don't do that ever again.
Taco.
That's what he was
Which-
like. Is maybe don't do that again.
Let's talk
Even though
about
she's-
financial decisions before you make them next time.
Yeah,
can't
even though
just
she's
purchase
debating
businesses.
buying a building for the college just to get her friends back into it, if it comes down to it. But that's a whole different thing.
I'm making an executive decision now. The name of this restaurant is the Burrito Bishop.
Burrito Bishop.
Okay.
And then for Natalie, it probably involved less sequins, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but at the time it was a whole thing.
I feel
And
like
they're
Natalie
both
can be
very
dramatic.
much over it now.
I had to work through it.
It was a lot of talking, and then Grandpa Les was a mediator for a little bit, and he was very confused why they were arguing about sequence.
Yeah.
To be fair, now
Yes.
she also has Sylvie, who absolutely adores glitter, that she can
It all works
pick
out.
all of it.
She has
Yes.
the necessary outlet.
Yeah, she
Yes.
has the outlet.
If we haven't already, we've got to clip that moment where Joe realized Sylvie was doing the glitter on purpose last time.
You can choose.
Who wouldn't choose to do that?
Alrighty.
That's
Start-
amazing.
Start of the session, add a team to the pool. We're up to 12 team.
Team
Look at us getting team again before we were just
Use
spending
it.
it like crazy.
Please use it.
We are all together and we're about to be in a fight, so let's...
Previously.
Actually, I think we're stored it all up for that. So,
Yeah.
you know.
This doesn't work on chipmunk rules.
No.
Are you sure? Because chipmunk rules
no.
are really fucking important.
Any case.
That is for a root campaign.
It's a different thing.
But anyway, previously on Jukebox Justice, Joe brought Roscoe and Eugene to the junkyard to meet the rest of the team, where they talked over everything they knew in the shit show that they were dealing with, and tried to get some more information about the pack to figure out what they might be sort of maybe dealing with on that front. Well, they did get some knowledge on the situation and learned that the magic was that there was a type of magic warping the pack werewolves' magic. Their conversation raised a lot more questions and some not so satisfying answers. While Joe was ready to go back to his mom and finally start explaining everything that was going on with him, a new villain attack drew the team downtown, where they found a figure wielding luminescent seaweed we saw not too long ago.
Sylvie's like, oh, that's where that went.
But something,
Right.
a couple of holdovers from last session that I want to resolve before we jump into that is harkening back to the gas mask experiment. I would like Sylvie to roll to unleash her powers to see
Oh,
We
yeah.
never did that.
how
A lot of things happened
if the
last
gas
week.
masks were able to be penetrated with pheromones.
Hopefully, otherwise Elena's just been wearing one for fun.
We can bedazzle
Like
it if it
a
makes you
DJ
feel
prepper.
better.
That's an 8.
All right. Would you like to mark a condition, or I can
Oh,
tell you
no.
how it's unstable or temporary?
Oh shoot, this is hard because I'm like,
I mean,
it'll be
kind
on.
of.
I feel like
Don't want this to work, do we?
let's go with temporary for right now, so it's not
Yeah.
like
Okay.
a be all end all.
Not
Okay.
too many conditions either.
Yeah,
So you find, like, in exuding extremely concentrated amounts of pheromones, you're able to get through the sense of the gas mask, but those, like, concentrated pheromones you're not able to keep up very often, so it is quickly like blocked again by the gas mask. So that's kind of how that goes. Where it seems, so basically the results concluded from this experiment is that it is possible to get through the gas mask with pheromones, but it takes a lot of power. So how aroma might stand up against that, not really sure.
The thing that we got to do is get Sylvie to sneak up on Roma, then pheromone her before she can pheromone the rest of us.
Shit out of Aroma. It's fine.
Like, just like that's our leading move is Sylvie just like gets real close to her and just like pheromones the shit out of her face. It's like,
I love how this is like a reliable counter we have to a lot of villains because we've used it.
We yeet Sylvie at her and Sylvie just pheromones.
And nothing wrong could possibly happen.
No,
Nothing
absolutely
bad
not.
could
This-
ever
Nothing
happen.
bad could happen. Nothing could go wrong.
This is an airtight plan, honestly. Nothing.
A+.
Clearly.
It's
Clearly.
explicitly not. We need the air to get to her.
And then on the subject of the betas, which I didn't have fleshed out last week.
Sorry.
Insert information that I will figure out later.
Yes. So the information you got on Beta Chide is that he uses influential sounds and language, basically the power of compulsion, to
Oh, great. I need
Get people to
more
do
people
things.
saying words at me and numbers at me so that I can. Thank you. I don't like that beta. I want to break his mouth.
And then there are
Close to the
two.
face.
There
Yeah,
are two
close to jaw.
additional. There are two additional betas. So 5 in total. There is Beta Spark, who has the power of like to wield electricity and lightning.
Ooh.
On a scale of 1 to
My favorite.
10, how electric would you say? No.
It's electric.
They're electrifying.
Boogie,
Boogie,
woogie,
woogie,
woogie.
woogie.
Hive mind.
And
Yeah.
then the last one is Beta Spectre, who has some form of invisibility or fluidity.
That makes sense.
Cool. Cool. This is not a problem at all. It's fine.
You know, at the very least, they can move through walls, so
Woo!
Oh,
have fun.
Hey, so can Calamity. She's moved through a lot of walls, actually.
Might be a different.
Pretty sure
a
she
different
moves
thing.
the wall and it just moves
Yeah,
away.
right. Same
All
thing,
right.
right?
Obviously.
in effect, I guess, but
All right.
No, because everybody can move through the wall after her because the wall doesn't exist anymore. And the structural integrity of the building has been compromised.
The building was an illusion.
If you run hard enough and you believe in yourself, you too can make buildings into illusions.
I
Alrighty.
think you literally just told our audience to beat their heads against a brick wall.
Okay, don't
In
do that
fewer
for
wo-
real, but
fewer
like,
words, maybe.
yeah. Yeah. It's way less complicated.
So, to set the scene where we left off, all of you had ventured downtown and found a sort of slight figure in the middle of this sort of like gathering green square in the middle of the city, causing a bit of havoc. They are wearing a hood pulled up. You can see like the peak of a domino mask underneath the hood, jeans, Converse, just very unassuming, and are currently held aloft through the power of this luminescent seaweed, these luminescent seaweed vines.
Mhm.
So, as we jump into our first fight in a while, who is the leader?
That depends. Is Joe faster than motorcycles in the stag?
I did have a lead.
Yeah, they left first, so they'd probably get there.
Then he
little
would be
bit
there
sooner.
first.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Cynthia's bike is really fast.
So remind me from last time. We were basically in the junkyard, and then we took off, and then we saw this thing happening midway.
No,
Sylvie
spotted
had
it.
been
We-
circling the junkyard to
Okay.
see if there was anyone there, caught sight of
Oh, I
a
need to-
commotion further in the city, and was like, hey, something's going down. And then everyone decided to go investigate. And brought Eugene and Sarah along. But Eugene and Joe had run off
Yes.
first before
Okay.
everyone
Sarah,
else.
Sarah
The
called
other
you.
thing is the stag is specifically gifted with speed. So
I will say
that's also a thing.
I'm going to probably throw a wrench in things, and given that Sylvie's the one who saw it, and this is glowing seaweed, Cynthia's answer for that is Sylvie.
God.
We yeet Sylvie and the stag, like with the telekinesis, so she does beat Joe there.
God.
All right. So Cynthia
Oh.
thinks Sylvie is the leader. Who does everyone else think is the leader?
Oh no.
Elena's probably Echo has been the leader, so
Yeah,
that
that's
is
what-
Yeah.
Easy Living's
Roxy's logic
default
is-
leader is Echo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Roxy believes that Echo is the leader because that's what she was told when she
Okay.
started.
I do
How
believe
it
Sylvie is
be.
probably thinking Echo is still the leader.
Okay.
No, even though she knows she probably has a little more information on this, if only because of the seaweed.
What about Joe?
Gonna nominate an NPC.
Sure.
Dad is the leader.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have adults with us. Oh my god.
No,
You have
oh my
an
gosh.
adult?
We have an adult here, adult. Oh God, thank God.
Thank God.
We have an actual responsible parental figure.
Woo!
All right. So everyone has a different idea of the leader, which means you don't get a bonus for that.
Nobody has any idea who's in charge. We're all just like, what's the
I know
plan?
it's not me.
Yeah.
What
Roxy
is
also knows it's not her.
what is everyone's purpose for this fight?
Neutralize the threat.
I'd say that's also where Echo's
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Stop the threat. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Stop the threat. Clean up the glowing seaweed shit.
Get the
that's here.
glowing seaweed and study it.
All right.
Lick it.
So-
Not lick it.
Claim it as your
Claim it
own.
true. Yes.
Num num.
Let's
Oh my
make
God.
sushi out of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Space
no.
sushi.
Great.
Sushi.
Entering battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 team the pool. You don't have the same leader. You do have the same purpose, so that's adds another team.
15.
There's no leader, so
15.
there's no sense of we can't do the mistrusts aspect. And I wouldn't say you're prepared or off balance. So you have a total of 15 team now.
15.
15.
You've got to spend this stuff.
All right.
We might have a chance to.
Okay, so you all arrive at this sort of clearing in the middle of the city. This figure has lots of vines of seaweed sort of spread out. There's probably already has like one wrapped around a car and is holding this car aloft. Another one has a like bicycle in its grip, and there are several other tendrils of seaweed sort of like flowing around in that exact motion.
Is this a seaweed tentacle person? Because that's a weird superpower to get.
Yes. I mean, the person appears to be a normal looking human, but has this power to control seaweed, luminescent seaweed. That is reminiscent
Okay,
of...
but are they hot though? That's important.
I'd say the jury's probably still out since they have their hood up. You're not really
Ah,
getting
Can't
full
really
yeah.
look.
see 'em. They're
So-
looking
Got it,
kind
got
of
it, got
scruffy.
it.
Difficult
Okay.
to tell right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
Has the potential though.
There's potential there.
There's potential. Yeah, so what's everyone doing?
Well, me and Ultima here are the first on the scene, if I remember correctly. Yes.
Probably.
Probably just by a few seconds. You don't have you probably have an initial, like the first chance to act if you're going to do something right away, but you're not left alone for
Alone
minutes
for a
before the
while.
rest of the team gets there.
That's fair. Okay, immediate question. is there any like major civilian presence around where this guy's going loco with the weed, or is it has it already kind of cleared out?
It has not cleared out completely. It doesn't look like there was a huge crowd here, but there are still civilians on the sidewalks and in the streets, since there is like a roadway that comes around the square. So people are at this point ditching their cars and running because
That's fair.
traffic is
That's
kind of at a
really
standstill.
fair.
So there are still civilians present.
I feel like I wanted to say like, and this is your body on weed when you said going loco on the weed. Like one of those commercials when we were kids, we were like, this is your brain, and this is your brain on weed. And like just they smash the egg.
Throw a bag of yard clippings at somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with trying to clear civilians out.
Okay.
Just like anybody who's in immediate danger of this, just try to clear everybody out. Like maybe do some crazy wolf parkour off the wall and just like tackle somebody out of the way of like a car getting thrown or something.
Oh, we
lost Maria.
Oh no.
Tell me she didn't uninstall Zoom again.
I hope not.
He uninstalled this or Zoom.
Easy Living teleported to another timeline.
Oh
Yep.
no.
Again.
Once again. Go ahead and go ahead and roll to assess the situation to see what is the best way to get people out of the immediate area.
Okay, that's going to be superior, which is currently a -1 for me. Don't think I have any conditions to interfere with this. No, okay. Here we go. Wow, okay. Heck of a way to start the night off. That's rolled 12 down to an 11.
Alrighty. You get task 2.
Assess the situation. Okay. Well, we'll start with what here is in the greatest danger.
The people. The
Okay.
general civilians, yeah.
Definitely move to get them out of there. I have a guess at what here is the biggest threat, so I think I'll say, how could we best end this quickly?
Ooh. Interesting question. Best bet would be to incapacitate them either through knocking them out or like restraining them in such a way where they can't use their powers.
Okay. Well, if I may, I will definitely move to get folks out of harm's way.
Sure. You can start going around the perimeter and directing people to the nearest exit from this
nearest egress from the situation.
Yes. Right.
And I don't necessarily know what my father will be doing, but Joe definitely doesn't feel in a position right now to be giving orders to anybody, so he's not really gonna feel the compulsion to direct him at the moment. So what he does, I suppose.
Seeing what you're doing, he would probably take a similar lead just because of the scale of this area and the amount of people dealing with. Wants to get as many people out of harm's way as possible. So
people are going to think Watchdog got a sidekick animal.
It's bigger than you.
Emotional support wolf because he can't manage
Emotional
his
support
emotions.
dire wolf.
Yes.
Nobody will know he's an emotional support dire wolf. He's just a support dire wolf.
He is an emotional support dire wolf. That's his dad. That's
Like the average bear is not gonna know that. Well, a bear might, but
the bear would absolutely know.
Dire bear.
The dire bear knows.
So that is what is currently happening while the rest of the team, you come in and have a chance to get off your bikes and leap in on the action. Who would like to make the first
I think
move?
Sylvie is going to try and wither the plants.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Ooh.
I made you, I can unmake you, bitch.
Those are my plants. I own them.
I feel like this would be an unleash your powers, since you're using this against someone else's powers.
That is a 12.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Holy shit. Okay.
All right.
The threat has been neutralized, and we can all just go back to what we were doing, folks.
Look, it's over.
That's all, folks.
I'm not sure why we're here, Roxy.
Okay.
Why am I even here?
I'll say you managed to wither this, like the initial spray of seaweed vines that are currently extending from this person, and in doing so it causes them to sort of like lose their grip and plummet through the air towards the ground, but they extend another sort of like bed of seaweed to catch them before taking injury. And this does cause the car that was being held aloft to also fall towards the ground, and it is plummeting towards a civilian that is trying to exit this area.
How far am I from that? Can I use my move to catch it?
Sure. You can roll to defend.
Yeah.
To get in the way of that.
It's savior, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Look, I'm not wrecking stuff. I'm doing the opposite of that. Oh, nice. Okay, so that is actually a 14.
Jesus.
We are on fire
Okay.
for some reason.
Cannot wait to roll 2 ones.
So you keep them safe and choose one. Would you like to add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition?
I'm going to take influence over this person that I just saved from being crushed.
Okay.
Love it when we
I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And what
They
they
will
can do
forever
for us.
remember the day
but I'm
Calamity
taking-
saved them.
Oh, yeah. Now they
I
have
mean-
low-key a crush on Calamity.
There's a scientist running
Fan
around
club.
that I straight up.
So as this car
Pheromones,
plummets
so-
towards this individual, describe how you like swoop in and save them.
So I'm gonna jump up in the air, not over them and kind of push the in an arc, grab the car while I'm arcing through the air and then set it down gently. And she'll look at Cynthia and be like,
I imagine because this car has already been a little bit crushed by the grip the seaweed had on it, but you still grab it and set it down on all 4 wheels, and just the alarm. Oh wait, no, there wouldn't be an alarm. Never mind.
no.
But it just it just sets down very gently.
Well, the doors just kind of boom.
Yeah. You just set it down very gently, and then 2 seconds pass, and then the window just shatters.
Damn it. Having some
really
really
thought I had
time.
it.
Okay.
Saved a person though.
So
Yeah.
that is what Calamity and Sylvie and Watchdog are doing. What are Echo and Easy Living doing?
I am gonna charge up as soon as I get there.
Okay.
Roll add conditions. We
That's
got
my glowing
plus
girlfriend.
2. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. That's a 14.
Oh my
cow.
god.
Yes.
Nice.
Wild.
All right.
Victory. That's 3 burns.
Nice.
Anything you'd like to immediately do with those?
Roxy saved the person, so I do not have to.
I mean, there is still a bad guy to take down.
Yeah, I'm going to directly engage
Okay.
with a burn.
Okay.
Spend 1, yep, to use freak instead of danger, which is good because my danger is at a -2.
Right.
If I do, I will cause unwanted collateral damage unless I spend another burn. Well, we'll see what happens when I roll. Do I
You
want
know,
collateral
things
damage?
happen. Things
Things
happen.
happen. Things happen. We haven't had collateral damage in a minute.
Bad feeling
You haven't
about
had a
this.
Had a
TR
fight in
We
a
haven't
minute.
had
The press
a
hasn't
thing
been
in
running
a while.
pieces about us and our destructive natures.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't been here in a month. We wouldn't know.
Freak
Months,
plus 3
yeah.
is 7, 8, 9, 10. Total of 10.
Okay. You can pick 2.
I can do something cool.
Do something cool.
Remember, if you don't pick resist or avoid, they will inflict something back on you automatically.
Do not remind me later. Thank you, computer.
Oh,
I was like, okay,
no,
geez.
not that.
Oh.
I'm going to frighten the opposition. I'm just going to reduce the gravity of their help. So they're trying to hold it up, and now it's just
floaty
very heavy and dense.
Oh,
I get 2.
anti-floaty kelp.
So that's my attempt to frighten them, and then I will ready a dodge. I
So
will
are
take the
you
dodge
just trying to impress, surprise, or frighten?
I'm trying to frighten them.
You get one other one because on a 10 plus you pick 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna resist or avoid the next attack.
Okay.
Dodge.
She said ready a dodge, and I was like,
Yeah.
But
We
is that
don't-
wrong?
we don't really do that here.
Been playing D&D too much.
I played 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Not that much.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of, I'm supposed to do something for that game.
So when I hit trade blows, mark that condition, and this canopy that has been holding this individual up kind of gives a little bit before they probably fall a little further before another bit of seaweed shoots out of the ground, and they throw their arm up and it wraps around their wrist, so they are holding onto it like a rope with one hand. And this person just kind of looks down at you where you have obviously been interfering with what they're doing, and just hisses, "People always getting in my way." And Helena, I would like you to roll to take a powerful blow.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
As the series of seaweed vines just breaks through the
Conditions.
concrete and hurtles towards you.
Whoa! Breaks through the concrete. Jeez.
Well, this
That's
is
some strong
interesting
lead.
and also slightly
Oh, I want to
unnerving.
miss?
You
Yes,
want to
that's
miss.
the one where you
Yeah.
want to miss.
Okay.
But the thing is, you
So
do
now
have
roll
plus
your
2.
2 ones.
Unfortunately, I did not. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can choose
I would
one.
like to lose control of my powers, because that's the one thing she doesn't want to do.
Okay.
I
That's
love
just-
this for us.
That's a
I
very
love
good
this.
decision. Yes.
And considering there was already supposed to be some
Consequences.
collateral damage from you using that burn, oh
Yeah, there's also
Ooh,
collateral
boy.
damage from the burn, because I did not use 2 burns.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Why do I get the feeling a city
one-woman
block just kinda
wrecking
went,
crew.
Yeah, Crow, you're not wrong. I think just this. Ooh, yeah. So all of these like individual vines don't look super threatening, but they kind of just they're really sharp and kind of just like pierce through you.
Oh!
Your body and
Mm.
send you
Oh.
flying backwards. And in
That
that
doesn't look good.
process, I think all of let's see, that your gravity powers just sort of concentrate a little bit before bursting outwards, and all of the cars that were parked on the street go flying backwards, hitting buildings.
Except for the one that Calamity put down nicely. That one's still in
I imagine you
flames.
still just like have a hand on it.
Yeah,
And
she
then
just
everything else is just
held it down.
over
And
top
the
of
rest
it.
of them like
It does,
go.
however, break the other window.
Yes. The rest of the windows blow out. And that also happens to a lot of the surrounding buildings as well. The glass windows just shatter, and now there's just a rain of glass falling towards some of the lingering crowds that are trying to get out of here.
Ah, fuck.
And teammates.
And teammates.
I care less about that. I mean, not that
That's
like
fair.
I don't care. I'm just saying that we're tougher than them. Like I feel like
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
a little bit. So what is Easy
Cynthia.
Living is temporarily kind of just like has had the breath knocked out of her and is taking a moment to clear the ringing in her ears and gather herself. So,
Probably also have a panic attack.
yes, everyone else has a bit of a moment to act here.
I have not
Echo
gone yet.
has not gone yet
Okay.
in general.
Is Easy Living in immediate danger?
I was in the air too. Probably not.
I wouldn't say
anymore.
immediate danger. She's probably the most vulnerable right now for like a follow-up attack. So there was kind of this like burst of an attack from this seaweed individual. Easy Living got a bit banged up, and that caused her powers to go haywire a little bit, but
Okay, so she's vulnerable, but not necessarily in immediate danger.
right. Yes.
Whereas there are glass shards going all over the place, possibly about to hurt people.
Yes.
Okay, Cynthia makes a quick calculated decision, and we are going to I suspect this is probably unleash your powers and not defend, but we're going to try to telekinetically stop the glass.
yeah, I was gonna say that should yeah.
Ooh.
I really hope this works because that visual is super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, in my head, I'm just like you were like, nope.
Like literally it's about to hit somebody and just kind of like
Go with
freezes.
unleash your powers here. Since you're
Yeah.
doing it,
You're
it's such
going
a broad scale.
full on
I'm trying to
Magneto here. You're just
Do it
like,
across the entire
nope.
field.
That is a 9.
okay.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Would you like to mark?
Can
a
we use
condition,
team?
Or I can tell you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can pump that up with team.
Team.
Yeah.
Not I'm
Uh,
not contributing to team. I cannot.
I have an idea for Sylvie team.
Who?
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Who would be contributing, and how would
Sylvie
you be contributing?
could command because this person just released a lot more vines. Sylvie could like any that you miss. Sylvie could like try and command the vines to help and
Oh,
catch.
that's a
and
good
block.
idea. See, Roxy's just good for emotional support. Like
Battle for plant
this,
control.
you got this.
Okay. Maybe just some of like taking control of some of the vines that you withered, and not
Yeah.
necessarily giving them life, but just
Just having them block,
Move,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
like slightly alter the course so people don't get hit.
Can I do flavor text then?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Cynthia, seeing this happen, kind of just, I'm not sure how much she's attending it, but runs and jumps up to the point where she just starts fucking floating and hands out Magneto style. Thank you for that visual.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
And the glass just stops.
Oh.
I'll say some of the pieces of glass are actually
On the
like
edges get caught in plants.
rotating a little
Oh.
bit.
Spinning in the
like,
Oh
air.
yes.
there's some people who were like running away or like shielding themselves, thinking it was going to cause impact. It's just like hanging there, and they see the reflection in the glass as it's just halted right in front of them as they try and
If
Get
she
themselves
sees
to
them
move and get out of
pause,
there.
she's going to say, keep going.
yeah, there's that little bit of hesitance where it's just like, oh my god, I almost died, and then they
Run.
they need the help to like snap out of it and start scurrying away.
About to say Joe probably like runs up and gets them up and gets them moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Joe's
you.
crowd control.
He's good
He's the
at it.
bouncer to this
Oh
party.
my god.
All right.
Werewolf bouncer.
So now
Yes.
there's a
Everybody needs a werewolf bouncer.
Easy Living's in a daze. Echo is currently holding a rain of glass in the air. While Valkyrie is helping with that, what are Calamity and Watchdog doing?
Calamity's gonna grab the cuffs that Echo's been carrying, like off her belt, or like whatever, wherever she keeps the cuffs that she's been keeping, the power cuffs that she's been keeping as a failsafe for Calamity in case, you know, people come and say words and numbers to her and then her brain goes berserk. And she's going to jump up and try to tackle this person, like do one of her like superhero jumps to like tackle them.
Okay, go ahead.
Like out of the air. They're in the air, right? Because they're like floating on seaweed, or what are they doing?
They're currently
got, like, a
sort of
tether.
like it's basically like one hand up got a tether of seaweed, just holding it like a rope, so they're kind of dangling in the air.
Okay.
Easy Living's interference caused them to fall a bit, so they're a lot closer to the ground than they are.
Okay.
So they're more
she's gonna try to put that cuff on one of those arms.
Okay, go ahead and roll
to neutralize them.
Directly engage a threat.
Directly engage. This is danger, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, I dropped it on the ground here.
No, you need that.
Yeah, I do need that. It's a 10.
Okay.
Okay,
Woo.
so pick 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna resist and avoid their blow, and I'm going to I guess I don't want to push the take something from them by like but access to their powers.
I'd say I feel like this would be good for
or at least
like
temporarily
creating an opportunity.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, creating an opportunity.
Yeah. So you can jump up and probably get the arm that's like not holding on, the one that's dangling at their side, and hook this cuff around and get it closed, locked. And as that happens, the vine that they're holding onto just disintegrates, and they come crashing to the ground. And you probably land fine because you initiated the jump. So
yeah, I'm gonna try to keep them from falling on their butt because I still have hold of their arms. So like, just like no, like sorry, but you know we can't just let you ruin the city, you know.
Yeah, I think probably like they don't get super injured, but still kind of just
their pride hurts.
A little limp being dragged along like this, like you know,
yeah,
don't
sorry.
really know what's going on, and they just struggle in your arms and in your grip, like
in my strong, tiny arms.
Yep.
And that's my girlfriend.
We're just like, let go of me. Why can't all of you just leave me alone?
Well, because I can't just let you ruin the city. You see, like there's a certain responsibility that comes with powers, and like I guess I have to like make sure people are safe. Like that's what I mean. I don't want anybody to get hurt, you know. So like, you know, and this is what we decided to do. So now this is
I
what
know someone might get very hurt after Watchdog moves if Sylvie gets her way.
Yeah. So I think you know we're just doing our job here, you know. So like maybe. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but maybe we could help you, support you in a different way, you know? Whatever need this behavior is serving.
I think given like they get a hand on the ground, like their free hand on the ground underneath them to like grab some momentum, and are going to try and kick you in the back of the knee to
how dare they
take
that
you
was
down.
rude. That's really rude.
Go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow.
Roll to take a powerful
do
blow.
resist or avoid.
I did do it, didn't I?
But I suppose that only stops the automatic thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember because it was I looked at this a while ago.
Rules loading. Please wait.
Yes. It's too far back.
Well, I rolled a 6, so.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. You add your conditions to that, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I only have one condition.
Good.
I am jealous.
I cleared my conditions instead of taking potential last time.
Yeah,
so.
that was.
Or cleared one of them.
Yeah.
Because I did have 2.
Maybe it's in the actual.
I just squeaked by because I rolled 5.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
I had
and
plus
then you
1
had the
condition.
one.
So I was like, oh, yes.
There it is. Um. Okay, no. So resisting means that I can't, as a reaction, to take a powerful blow. So we'll just say she tries to, or they try to kick you in the back of the knee, and it just does nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I just like stand there and I look at them like, that's really rude. I'm trying to help you here.
So there is a little lull in the fight right now, as there's still this glass hanging in the air. We'll say easy living, you're probably starting to regain a little bit of your senses, but are there any immediate moves anyone else wants to make?
Yes, actually. Roxy started doing her thing and talking with the bad guy.
Again.
This
She
time,
does.
however, Joe's a bit more ready. Assuming I've got everyone clear, I would like to start focusing my senses into Seaweed Boy. And
We don't know that it's a boy.
Seaweed goose.
The
Seaweed goose.
Yeah.
It's a goose.
Seaweed
Yeah,
goose.
3
Right?
geese in a trench coat.
Yes.
It is 3 geese in a trench coat. Oh, actually a hoodie, but yeah.
Same thing.
It's a hoodie, but a modern trench coat.
That's so profound.
Okay.
It's 3 weed in a trench coat.
Yes.
Okay.
We're
But
very
I would like to
serious.
sort of focus senses in, and if I can, pierce the mask to see what I can pick up in regards to
Okay.
their sort of maybe more internal emotional state here, based
Okay.
off of what I can smell on them.
Okay.
Because I have
Are you
established that
sniffing people's emotions again, Joe? That's so creepy. Yeah. No, I'm
it's
just kidding.
effective.
It is effective. I love that
All right.
flavor, though, for real.
I mean, that's something I established pretty heavily in my backstory, is that, like, yeah, different emotions definitely have different scent to werewolves. Okay, rolled a 5, plus my mundane is 2, so that gets me up to a 7.
Okay, you can
That's nice.
ask one.
What are you really planning?
Ooh.
What psychological disorders do you have? Know about? I'm just kidding.
I'm afraid I don't have that move.
That's
That
the
would be a
worst thing
great
you're
question.
hiding under your mattress.
I don't want to know.
So say first glance seems like just a little bit of a facade of someone who is kind of power hungry, but digging deeper, it looks like this is very much a testing the waters on these powers. See how strong they are.
You gotta do that at the junkyard.
You need a permit.
It's the rule.
Yeah.
You got a permit to do this in public? I'm gonna need to see a
Okay.
permit or I gotta take you away.
Okay.
It's modern art.
I'm a street performer.
Well, this is a hell of a street performance because there's glass
Yeah.
rotating
Everywhere.
around in the air, withering seaweed.
Well, that's my move for the moment, so I won't
Okay.
act on that quite yet.
So, first of all, I'm going to attempt to clear Insecure by taking a foolhardy action.
Oh.
And Sylvie is going to yell, "Stop hurting my girlfriends," as she tries to take the
Our
control
fan
of the
club
seaweed,
is going crazy.
and as well as her wither ability, and directly attack the individual in question.
Oh no.
The geese in a
God,
hoodie.
Go ahead and roll to directly engage the threat.
they're one of their arms in a vice grip, and they're trying to kick my knee out, and I'm just like looking at them like that's so rude.
That is
Also,
a
you
9.
Go ahead and pick one.
Can we boost
Can
that
we use
to
a
a
team?
10?
No, can we use a team because I've got my their arm on
That
in my
is-
I've got one of their arms.
Sure. Did I mark off that other team? I did not. Okay. So we're down to 13.
Yeah.
Yes, so you can pick 2.
Team.
I think Sylvie is going straight for the frighten and to create an opportunity for her allies. She does not care about the blows.
Ooh.
Does this count as clearing Insecure?
Yes, and I will explain why in a second. But please describe what this looks like first.
I think Sylvie yells that, and more so than previously when you saw her expound on her powers, those sharpened seaweed bits that just went after Elena turn and go straight for this individual. As well as her wither ability is going to create weakness in their body. Like she knows what Cynthia has been trying to teach her and what Joe has been trying to teach her. She does not care at this moment.
The morals have gone out the
Yeah,
window.
these
All
are
this
her
work we've
people.
done on teaching her human morals.
She does not care how much destruction this causes to this individual. Right now, it's her people are in danger.
So, these shards of seaweed bits fly into this person, and they make pain sounds, obviously, at first, and are trying to shy away from these painful blows as you make it even more difficult by literally sucking part of the life out of them. And I imagine it's just this battering, kind of like someone just being nailed down by a gun, just like endless shots, just causing their body to convulse and spasm. And then the assault eventually dies down, and there's this moment of pause before, well, this person is kind of moaning and groaning where they're laying down. But then they start coughing
Uh-oh.
and hacking.
Oh no.
And
Nope.
They
you
were, oh no.
watch as even underneath the hoodie and the jeans, there's some long tendrils pulsating underneath their skin, and this glow extends down out from their hands as they start screaming. And this goes on for a little bit before the convulsions start again. And then it eventually stops, and they lie there motionless.
I'm gonna check for a pulse.
On their wrist or their neck?
wrist because it's already in my hand.
You can push the sleeve of the hoodie back a little bit to get your fingers on the wrist, and you can see that there are these horrible, like, burn marks representing tendrils of seaweed on their skin, and you do not find a pulse.
Fuck. All right. Well, I am gonna pull off the hood to see the face before I start trying to administer some CPR. Did CPR exist in 1953?
That is a good question.
Study of CPR. No.
It wasn't?
Nope, 1960.
What?
Wow. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess.
How did we resuscitate people before 1960?
We just didn't. They just died.
Didn't the AED exist?
I thought they did.
I think the AED did, but I don't know if proper CPR did.
Oh, hang on.
But you wouldn't have access to that, so it doesn't really matter.
Can I use my
the wiki says yes, but whether or not you would know how to do it, it's an entirely different thing.
I also feel like those would be restricted in access, but
can I use a mind of their own? My ability, a mind of their own, to do something crazy with my power and just like in a panic, like, oh no, we've killed this person. We had one rule. Cynthia's gonna be so upset with Sylvie, and I don't want that to happen. She just announced that we're girlfriends. Like, we cannot start a relationship off on this bad footing. Like, this is going through Roxy's head. So, like, she just like, like sets the person down. She was still holding, and like, then just like over like where their heart would be, just like, I don't know, puts her hand there, and then like you have to live. And I think jolt of electricity or something. I don't know.
Sure. I'll let you try that. I would like to know how everyone else is reacting in this moment.
If this fails, Echo has a plan, and it's not one she wants to use.
Hide the body?
But she has one.
Turn it into fertilizer?
Two things. The CPR wasn't mouth to mouth, it was the arm flappies. You had them on their stomach, and you like move their arms to get them to breathe. I don't know. That's what the pictures look like. The Holger Nielsen.
Were they doing the whole CPR is just the chest compressions? That's rescue breathing. Sorry, I'm not certified or anything.
I don't know. But either way, mouth
you
to
do
mouth,
like
that
babies.
mouth wasn't popular or used at all, really.
Yeah, that's because you don't want to kiss some random person that you
gross.
Like. That's so gross.
Elena would somewhere during the convulsion, she would have spent a burn to move far away with her fancy thing where she just beelines. It doesn't matter what's in her way. She's running away. She is terrified.
Okay,
that's fair.
That's fair.
So Elena's gone.
Yeah, it also clears afraid because I ran away.
That is also true.
That is also true.
Yay.
What about Joe?
I think Joe kind of freezes.
Oh no!
Just like waiting to see what happens.
I mean, I can probably hear the heartbeat, right? I was literally.
You probably heard the heart stop.
Yeah,
you're like
extending my senses to this person. I probably heard the heart stop, right?
Yep.
So I think Joe's like crouched on like a turned over car, like about to like intervene with like the arrest of this person. And then Sylvie does that, and he just kind of like freezes in place.
Sylvie is still very much seething at this moment.
Yeah. I feel like she still wants to just unleash another turret at this person.
Yes.
Like doesn't care at all. Okay. Roxy, go ahead and roll.
All right. So this is unleash your powers.
I thought you wanted to do mind of your own.
Yeah. So mind of their own just says mark one condition, and then you can do something.
Okay. Yes, this would be unleash your powers.
Okay. I didn't assume, I just got it. Like, no. I mean, I still have to mark condition, but so I that's freak, right?
Yes.
And I have a +1 additional because I'm thick and thin-skinned, and I'm angry. So I'm get a +1 to unleash my powers. I rolled a 9, so that makes it a 10.
Okay. I think Joe's probably the first one that notices anything.
Until I
With
check for a pulse, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
oh shit.
just the heartbeat very slowly and weakly restarting. But this initially, like, you don't see any change in their movement or their breathing. And you get a hand on the wrist and check for a pulse, and you find there is a very weak pulse there. And then I think they cough a couple of times to sort of clear things out and indicate they're breathing, but are still very much unconscious after everything that just happened. So this person is alive for the moment.
Cuffs.
Yeah, I put the cuffs all the way on them, on both hands. And then I'm like,
against seaweed, though, if it's the seaweed that sentient.
Seaweed in a trench coat.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
seaweed in a
that was my
human
first
skin.
That's just a scarecrow.
That's just a sea crow. Yeah, Roxy will pick them up.
How is Joe still frozen?
I think there's like a visible like when their heart starts beating again. And at that point, he's looking at Valkyrie, trying to evaluate what she's about to do.
I mean, she's not trying to hide anything right now. She's very concerned about where Iselimig just flew off to. But she also fully realizes that she did something that's going to put her up shit's creek, and she's not going to flee at this point, because she recognizes that if she's done this before, where she's fled a team because she did something wrong, or because she wasn't comfortable with taking responsibility for something, and she's not going to do it again. Not with this team.
Okay.
Good.
Growth.
Sweet.
You
In that
start to
case,
hear
if she-
sirens in the distance.
If she doesn't move much, Joe will sort of walk into what I imagine is now like a slight crater in the middle of this courtyard from just the gravity
Yeah.
and plant shenanigans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he'll just kind of put himself between weed, bloke, I don't know what to call them.
Individual.
Oh, they do have a name, but you haven't
Weedling.
asked what
Let's
it
just
is
go
yet.
with
so-
Weedling.
We could.
And-
Do they have ID? An
The
ID on them?
weedest link.
Can
They
we?
do
Can
not.
somebody check their pocket for?
Yeah, he'll
ID
put
or
himself
something?
between Weedling and Sylvia and just like
Yeah,
watch
that's what
her.
Roxy was gonna be like. Can you just make sure that Sylvie doesn't know?
You can pat them down, and you don't find any sign of. There's no like wallet or keys or anything.
What does their face look like? Just out of curiosity. Now that I've
Are you going?
them.
Are you going to remove the domino mask or leave?
Oh
that?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
They are similar to what you saw on their wrist. There's still like horrible burn marks just covering their face as well, up their neck. And
Yeah, I'm not a healer like that.
they have like short brown hair, kind of in a messy haircut. It's a very like slight individual, kind of a narrow face. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of just like, a bit average looking, nothing. They don't really stand out much.
3 geese in a trench coat don't stand out. You know? I'm just kidding.
They are not a goose.
They're not a goose. Damn. I really thought we were fighting a goose hydra with seaweed power.
I'm sorry, I'm picturing a hydra with geese for heads now.
Yes.
Charlie will remember that.
Uh-huh.
I got a Photoshop thing without the cross heads.
Andra.
While this is going on,
Mhm.
can Sylvie reach out and feel if there are still tendrils of seaweed inside this individual?
Good call.
There are not.
They ate some bad sushi, and now
Okay.
this is what happened. You really got to make sure you get locally sourced sushi.
Sylvie will relay that the seaweed is completely gone from their person. And can she continue to wither any outside of the person's body in case there
is no seaweed left alive outside of this individual. It's all just like
you've killed it
withered, dead, like piles of withered and dead seaweed.
I don't want particles of seaweed to infect any individuals that are innocent bystanders.
We should probably burn that seaweed, not gonna lie.
There are
sirens.
A
biohazard.
There are sirens in the distance that are drawing closer.
That's okay. We didn't do anything bad. Wait. Well,
Where's Eugene at this point?
He was helping clear the field and keep other people safe, and is like on the perimeter, and you can tell keeping an eye on what's currently going on, as well as the like exterior situation with anyone who might be like coming back, and the sirens. I think actually, as you turn to look around for him, you see his head jerk upwards as he's looking towards the sky. And tuning into your senses and following his gaze, you hear a familiar roaring sound.
Uh-oh.
See a metallic glint heading away from the clearing.
Motherfuckers.
As in something that I would recognize, or that everybody?
I know what you're talking about. It's another superhero who might have metal in their name.
The roaring is familiar, Joe.
Okay.
I mean, Roxy doesn't know. Jenna knows, but Roxy, no idea.
Is this something that Echo would notice or know about? If it's what I think it is.
I mean, I'm picking it up on werewolf radar, so
okay, yeah, she would not get that.
I would say if you are like
you might hear the thoughts
more
though.
Focused on the current situation with the Vine person and all of that. This is.
I think she's probably more focused on that. So would not be paying attention to.
If you were paying attention to Joe and saw him look up and followed his gaze, then yes, but
he's not her immediate concern right now.
No, yeah, Roxy's also like just like watching this person's chest rise and fall. Like, like I hope they didn't die. Please don't die.
Okay, is that sound getting closer or farther away?
It is headed away. They're leaving.
Okay.
Interesting.
Again, sirens getting closer.
Well, there's a bit of a pause. Echo is going to coalesce the glass and like try to just set it down in a pile.
Precious like a really neat pile, I imagine. It's like all stacked perfectly.
Since you're out of the fight and things have calmed down for the most part, that's the hard part was stopping it. I think easy enough to like
absolutely
move it into a pile. You can do that.
She's gonna land. And she's going to land next to Sylvie and then say to Calamity and Watchdog, can you two take care of the emergency response?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then turning to Valkyrie, will say,
sure.
Will you help me find Easy Living? She left. We need to find her.
Sylvie will immediately step into taking orders from Echo mode again.
Echo mainly just wants to get Valkyrie away from the scene of this.
Yeah, the two of you can leave.
Smart.
Head after Easy Living. What are Watchdog and Calamity doing with this?
I think Calamity's just trying to keep them like she's like probably like really terrified that Valkyrie like like this person might die, and then like she's got a lot of like anxiety going on. So I'm marking the condition I marked with this is afraid. Because she was really afraid that that person was going to die, and we have one rule, one hard and fast rule. That's all. And then so she's just kind of waiting there. She's got them stabilized and they're contained. So she's gonna wait for the police to take them from her.
Okay.
I mean, she was told she can't kidnap villains, so
Growth.
Calamity following the rules better than Valkyrie. It's great.
P's and Q's today, apparently.
It's a race to the bottom.
She has the brain cell today.
Then
There we go.
today it was her turn to have custody of the brain cell. I think. Do you believe that tomorrow is Easy Living's day, and then the next day is Sylvie's?
That's why she just caused wonton explosions and just dipped. Not my day with the brain cell.
I will help Calamity with like getting this person like upright and making sure they're okay, because like I've got the super
They're
senses to know
unconscious.
that they're okay.
Yeah, they're asleep. I'm just holding
But
them
I assume
up.
I can like hear heartbeat and breathing and whatnot.
Yes.
Just make sure it's like normal.
You're monitoring that, yeah.
You can
She's
monitor the
watching
vital signs.
the chest rise and fall because she's like, But she's just got them up off the ground because I know we didn't have glass everywhere because but there is probably some broken glass from like what was happening
I'll say
before we got
that
there. So she didn't want to like put them on the ground. She just
since
wanted to like
things got pretty heated pretty quickly, Sarah did tag along, so she would probably come over and make like a flat shield as like a sort of stretcher that you
a
can
stretcher shield. That's so helpful. Thank you.
We also need to remember when we have NPCs like that, because they can literally just spend team to help with like anything.
She could have also created like a shield around the glass.
Yeah,
solution.
exactly.
But it's fine. She also probably doesn't want to like be get a huge profile, though she's starting with a clean slate, so she can be whatever she wants.
I assume I'm like helping this person onto the floating slab. As I'm doing so, can I like try to check their pockets or their hands for any sort of identification?
Rob them.
Not robbing them.
You can
pat them down, and they don't have any, like, there's no wallet in their pockets, they don't have any keys. Seems they were smart enough not to bring any.
They rode the seaweed waves here.
Okay. All right.
No
then in
bus
that
token.
case, plan B. Close range, opening up my senses. If you would allow me, I would like to use straight up creeping.
You would.
I love the name of that one.
You would, Joseph Hatathly. You straight up spin
It's Jonah Hatathly, thank you.
Joseph.
Not anymore.
Jonath.
Jonah.
Oh god.
Josiah.
If you're trying to find it, Charlie, straight up creeping is
I'm looking
from
at
the
it.
beacon. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It can be a person.
Sure. Go ahead and roll plus Monday.
Here we go. Oh! Okay. So I rolled a 4. Plus my mundane gets me up to a 6. Okay, so I imagine Roxy can't help out much with this, nor really could Sarah, but could Ultima help? Because I assume he's got similar senses to me. If not
By
better.
the power of the moon.
I'll punish you. Yes, he would be able to help in this case.
I will spend a team if no one's got an objection with that.
Go for it.
So you get to ask
Me to
one.
7. I think I will go with... Yeah. What here happened recently? Or I guess in this particular instance, where has this person been recently, I guess? Like, from like the sense on them, where have they recently been?
believe, yes, no, you were with the team when this happened. It's a minute to place it because the time you spent around this location was very brief and long ago. But it does remind you of the night you went to somewhat scope out Rook Labs.
Motherfuckers.
What reminds you of it?
The vine person smells similar to Rook Labs.
Oh, crap.
Oh, boy.
Roxy doesn't know that. She's just kind of stabilizing them and waiting for the police to deal with that.
Yep.
Look, I'm a hero. I saved everybody. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd say probably at this point the cops and the paramedics, fire truck, they all start pulling around the corner and immediately stopping because the road is just absolutely destroyed.
It's
a hot ass mess over here.
Seeing
I didn't do it.
Sort of like taking in the person laid out on the slab, the paramedics definitely like rush over and start asking questions, getting a sense of like what happened, like
So Roxy just says they took a powerful blow, not from me. There was something that just flew and hit them, and yeah, like she's babbling and waiting for Joe to like
one of them is just like, something flew and hit them. This looks a lot worse than something just flew and hit them.
Well, I got this like power suppressing cuff on them, and then out of nowhere, like something that was floating, just like debris, and I don't know, they seem like maybe they lost a little of their livelihood or something, like life essence. I don't know.
That's not the right word for that, Rox.
I don't. Then you say it.
Well, I don't say Rox. I say Calamity.
Clams.
Tell us anything else about what injuries we're dealing with here, because it looks
they're not natural. Also, there was some glowing seaweed, and now they got their burns.
Burns, lacerations. They went down pretty hard and unconscious now.
Also, I put these cuffs on them. You can just keep these on them if you want. For safety.
I think at this point the cops come over and are like, is this an ally of yours or
no, I don't know who this is. They were just attacking the city. And I tried to talk to them and get some reason into them, but they didn't really want to have any reason.
All right, we'll leave the cuffs on for now, and then the cops will start kind of just asking you to recount the events of everything that happened here, while the paramedics ask Sarah's help moving the slab over to the ambulance, since they can't really get a gurney across the ground, so she's off taking care of that.
The debris.
Is there anything you leave out while we're counting what happened here, or change?
Yeah, I don't tell them that it's Sylvie's fault that that this person's unconscious, and I definitely don't mention that Elena's powers went whack and that everything blew up. She's like clearly glossing over a lot of stuff in her.
Okay.
She's just kind of like, this person was like throwing stuff and wrecking stuff, and like, look at the wreckage,
we see it. Yep.
And like, we just came and we saved the day. Would you Jukebox Justice, in case you wanted to know? She's just made up our name right now.
I was gonna say we've never officially had the name.
Here it is. It's your team name.
Yep, it's our team name.
Does Joe contribute at all, or is he just hanging back?
Really help her in this, because this is not her strong suit. You have one more brain cell than her, so you really need to help. And the wolf obviously can't, because he doesn't have.
Well, we know he can talk.
He can talk.
Oh yeah.
But also, I don't know if he's inclined to at the moment.
I'm not sure that the paramedics really need to talk to a talking wolf, though, because that's disconcerting.
Lunar Ultima is just kind of like hanging back for the moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
I fully imagine one of the cops is like, "Is that with you?"
Just like one of them is
Yes.
constantly glancing over at him, like, what?
He's a good boy.
What is
Don't
going on?
worry.
Eugene to fuck with them would bark and sit.
Sorry.
Bark.
It's easier than explaining that you.
I think Joe largely goes along with what Calamity says. I do think he leaves out what he figured out about Rook Labs. Just
That's
because,
a later conversation.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
yet another conversation to happen later.
You have so much stuff.
But this
Our
one
TV
isn't-
is going to be so long.
This one isn't solely restricted to Joe, though, so
Yeah,
That's nice.
good.
progress.
I do think maybe he'll spin it a bit more in regards to Easy Living's favor, saying that like she kind of got rocked and needed to leave the situation.
Okay.
And maybe accidentally implying that she might have had a hand in the destruction, but also that it was not
Plausible
unprompted.
deniability.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. There was seaweed and there was explosions, so I don't know.
I was busy getting people out of there.
Yeah.
Who might have
You
said?
didn't see what happened. I just heard the after. I just saw the aftermath. Okay. But they...
Calamity's wobbly ass. There was seaweed everywhere, and then things exploded. I don't really know.
Yeah, Joe's probably like actually putting together a story out of Calamity's ramblings.
Yes, I was gonna say string it together for her because she's not
connect the dots.
Yes.
But okay, they wrap. They'll take down your statement and the whole story, and the paramedics will take the seaweed person away. For
We need those cuffs back at some point,
treatments.
right? Because we don't want the cops to have them, right? I don't know. Asking
They
Cynthia.
probably reclaim them before they take the dude away.
Okay. So yeah.
It's their problem now.
I would imagine some. No, the cops don't have them, do they?
No.
I don't. How do they contain superheroes in this like super villains in this?
I would presume they've got similar tech. Maybe not as miniaturized as this, but like certainly
They might have
cells.
like a
Depowered cell.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, she'll just say that she'll run by the. Yeah,
You can get the cups back.
Okay, I was gonna say, if they
this
don't,
many
then she'll go
superpowered
with them to
creatures
the
in a row?
police station until they get her like
They're
the
taking
containment.
They're taking them to the hospital.
Okay,
That's fair.
until they
Clearly
figure out
severely injured.
Okay, so until they get the I mean, she could go with, but like it doesn't matter. She'll get them back. We'll just say that
Yeah,
whatever
you'll
they
get
have,
'em back.
they can get them back.
So
She just doesn't want.
but-
She remembers Cynthia saying like.
But you
the
can get all of
discussion,
that tied up
Mhm.
fairly easily compared to previous
Wow.
run-ins with the authorities.
This
and-
encounter went so well, guys.
I feel like Joe and Calamity did the best they've ever done in like an emergency situation.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But
Growth.
how about
Yes.
we go ahead and take a quick break, and then we can figure out where Easy Living went. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Deal with that.
for easy living.
so
Forget to clear your
Fine.
conditions, y'all.
we'll be back
I
here
cleared
in
Oh, I
one
did.
condition.
a couple minutes.
Wait, we get to clear conditions?
Two of us
do
did
things
If you
stuff.
trigger something
Yeah.
that did so.
Sylvie and Elena did something
Oh,
to
I was
clear
like,
conditions.
oh,
yeah.
I ran
I was like,
away.
I didn't do anything to
No.
clear
And
And
conditions.
now the
Why
scene
there
is
a random
over, so now they get to
Mhm.
clear those conditions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was debating if Sylvie was gonna clear afraid as well, but I was like, maybe not.
We both can't run away.
Anyway.
Yeah.
There.
Hey, this might come out as total madness, but just wait. I really need to tell you something, 'cause I feel with you. Under streetlights, right next to the skyline, with you. Yeah, I've been a cynic for so many of my days. Now you just my makeup, believer out of me. 'Cause you look so pretty in the sunrise, and somehow now everything is alright. I feel like every word is so translucent, so real. Oh, won't you tell me how you do it? Now I'm high, but the buzz in the room, surrounded by people I couldn't care, yeah, but nobody but you. Sway, move me now, baby, dance, give in to the moment. With you, under streetlights, right next to the skyline. With you.
What if, just hear me out here, she could turn into a giant glitter wolf?
That'll make you
That might be more suspicious
even more
than anything
suspicious.
else.
Yeah.
Can you do it without the glitter, Sylvie?
I have not tried it with the.
Wait, you do that on purpose? I thought that was just like fey dust that you put out. You actually like intentionally do that?
No, it's really funny because you don't like it. See, I can keep a secret. I knew that she did it on purpose.
Oh my god.
I've spent hours washing that shit out of my fur. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just shift back?
That doesn't make it go away. It's still stuck to me.
You know what? I can't talk about werewolf physics right now. I feel like this is the werewolf law conversation all over again. And we don't got time for that right now. We've got a lot of problems. We're trying to neutralize the scent by using Sylvie's pheromones as like
Yeah,
a base for the chemistry.
Good
I
luck
have a
with
very
that.
good chemist working on it.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. She puts Sylvie to shame in regards to what she can do with that.
How do you know Sylvie just hasn't used the full extent of her powers?
Yeah.
I guess I don't, but I've never.
We are asking her to be ethical a lot of the time.
We do ask her, and
Most
she
of
does a
the
really
time.
good job considering she comes from a completely different culture with different ethics and morals and stuff. I feel like she does a really good job.
These two poor men
Sweden.
who are just sitting in on this
Elena clarifies and
conversation.
says Sweden.
Also, I want to point out, Joe, that she's never actively pheromoned you. So you don't actually know what actively, like her, you just get like a secondhand, like normal pheromones. You've never had like the full extent of it. And I tell you, it packs a punch.
Very
Wait, what?
strange
Two of you.
argument.
When did
This is-
you? Oh my
It's a
gosh.
whole thing.
It's a long
I'll tell you,
story.
Elena.
I can tell you about it afterwards, but there's something wrong with my brain.
I don't think anyone other than the other two werewolves at the scene can hear this, but I think Joe whispers under his breath, "I told you that."
When you feel like it's over and nothing else matters, I know you feel so divided. Pick yourself up again and you better start walk, girl. Open up, just let me hear you talk, girl. You have come too far to give it up now, even though it seems there's no way out. Take a look in the mirror now, what do you see? You can be anything you want to be, you know. You will never be alone. Girl, go make your move. There's nothing left to prove. I know that you will find your love again. Don't be Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. Show me life. Show me love. This is all we got. Sometimes life will push you down, make you fall onto the ground. But I know you will turn it around. Oh, this is all we got. And I know you'll make mistakes, get interference and lose your way. Find the light when it rains. Oh, this is all we got. Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. Show me life, show me love. Make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. Show me life, show me love. This is all we got. 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 Show me love. Show me life. Show me love. This is all we got.
Hey, this might come out as total madness, but just wait. I really need to tell you something. 'Cause I feel alone in a room, surrounded by people. I wanna know if you're feeling it too. Out on the roof, here with you, it all seems so distant. With you, under street lights, right next to the skyline. With you.
Okay. Elena, where are you going?
She just kind of took off behind her. So at
Like
some
away.
point away. Yeah, literally
Oh,
away.
I mean, does she have like a destination in mind? Would she
No.
go to the junkyard? Just would she
At
stop
some
as
point, she
soon
would
as she hit
just-
city limits?
She would stop before city limits. Sorry, there's a fly.
A fly flew at her face, and she was like, "I'm done. That's
Another
it."
city block gone.
Yep.
I'm leveling this entire city.
Oh
They had it
shit! This
coming.
is
Become a super villain.
It's my supervillain
This
origin
is
story.
Elena's
Well,
villain.
Lies.
if we destroy the city, the werewolves can't take over a city that's been destroyed.
Are
Perfect.
we the baddies?
Yeah.
Slowly, yes.
Surely.
Before she like even got remotely close to city limits, like probably after 5 or 6 blocks, she would have landed and hid somewhere and just sat there in the
Okay.
snow.
Right.
In like an alley, preferably away from public view.
Yeah, there's plenty of alleys. You could find one or head up to a rooftop if you wanted.
She'd land because she's not very stable in the air right now.
All right.
Mentally or physically?
Yes.
So Echo and Valkyrie, you have a general direction of where to go. How are you gonna go about tracking down Easy Living?
Valkyrie
wolf.
see tethers.
Yeah, Valkyrie will, if
Oh,
she'll look for the tether to,
Okay.
I'm still tethered.
yeah.
Elena still has her tether, so you can follow that and find Easy Living tucked away in the back of an alleyway. I don't know. Would you huddle next to a dumpster, or is that too much?
Yeah, she just, if there's a dumpster there, she's not gonna move away from it.
So you just find her huddled next
I
to a
think
dumpster.
Immediately upon seeing her, Valkyrie is going to pull from her own energy and heal up the wounds that she saw Easy Living take.
Lying
You
well
can do that.
concussed is super safe.
You feel this healing energy come into you, Easy Living. Probably some of maybe a few bits of grass that were growing through cracks in the cement wither away. But
I think if Echo doesn't do anything, Valkyrie will crouch down.
Yeah, I think
and ask if she's okay.
I wouldn't say Echo's not doing anything. I'd say it's more given they probably both approach at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing anything, but
yeah. If Echo doesn't take the initiative, Valkyrie will go and crouch down and ask if Easy Living's okay.
Nein, no. Ich bin gefährlich. I'm dangerous. I don't think I can keep doing this.
She'll gesture if she can take one of Elena's hands.
With a glove on or without a glove?
I mean, she's still wearing gloves, but she can take them off if you want.
Still has hers on because it's winter.
Cynthia's pretty much always wearing gloves unless otherwise noted.
Well, Elena's costume has gloves and it's also cold out.
It's not a power transfer thing, it's more of a comfort thing.
So, pick hands.
I'm not going to lie to you. You have a lot of power. And that can go sideways.
Every time I think we're on top of things, it just goes pairs. It's just pairs all the way down.
Not always. I guess any power has the capability of being dangerous. And anyone can lose control. You're perhaps operating on a magnitude of power that's higher than most people. But it's the same principle. If getting out of this is something that you really want to do, then I'll support you whatever you decide. But if you want to stay in this, you can keep practicing, learn more, figure out strategies for how to control things when they go pear-shaped.
Quitting won't stop the powers.
It won't.
It's either confront or be consumed at this point.
Quitting didn't stop mine.
Pear-shaped. It's just gonna sit there quietly for a bit.
I think Sylvie's going to shapeshift into something big and furry to make sure they don't get cold. And curl around both of them.
Yeah. Echo kind of just sits next to her and head on shoulder. We'll get through this.
Calamity and Watchdog have the kelp.
They're taken care of.
Okay.
We this team meeting is going to be really long. But we're all in the same place again, so
That's nice.
I'm sorry it went the way it did, though. It's not easy if that happens.
It's kind of intended, but not the outcome.
Yeah. Well, no one died. So
So that's good.
Oh
yeah, she left. She left
Yeah,
before
Sylvie
any of that
definitely
happened.
hides her
In
head
the
in
middle
her
of the
paws at that
no, she was
moment.
originally going to say no one got hurt, and then she was like, "That's not true. No one died."
That's good.
Sure,
No.
Cynthia knows that they died either. You know, like I don't think that Roxy said anything out loud. She just kind of like reacted.
That's actually a fair point. Like if
With
Cynthia
the
wasn't,
arm flapping.
Cynthia was not super close.
Yeah. Watchdog and
If you were
Calamity
watching
know.
Watchdog, though,
Yeah. Well,
Watch-
Watchdog was nosed
Did-
in.
did
Yeah.
show visible
Yeah.
relief once they came back.
You would have had to been watching our body
I
language.
feel
really
like
Yeah.
it would
close.
be Roxy's reaction would have been very strange otherwise. So I feel like you could have put the pieces together
Yeah.
to be like,
I'd laid a left
Oh.
before
Did
any of that.
we hear them cough before we left too? Because there was the moment where they coughed up crap too.
yes.
I think
You
the two of you would have. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
'cause you didn't-
Elena would have.
the sirens didn't
Yeah,
start
I was
until
gone.
after they'd been brought back.
hmm
And that was when you decided to be like, you two damage control, we're going after easy living.
Yeah. She saw the convulsions and dipped immediately.
So you do know they're alive.
Yep. As far
At
as she
this
knows, they
point.
maybe just had a seizure and they lived through it. Or a plant reaction on. So it is good. No deaths are good.
Mm. Might have to reset the PR counter, but you do that regularly enough anyways.
That whole block is just gone.
I mean, you didn't crush it into like a tiny little ball of hypermass. So
Not squish it like watermelon.
true. That's pretty funny though. Not with the block, but with watermelons.
I think
You could use them for
Sylvie
training, probably.
It's definitely like
Fine
they're like
control, yeah.
patting Easy Living's head with her tail as a like, you did a good job for not doing that.
Blew, not in, just blew it out.
Yeah.
And
Better out than in.
probably scared the bejesus out of a bunch of people.
You made it work.
Yeah.
When something goes wrong on one of our ends, the rest of us step in to help.
That is what the team is for. And friend. Yeah, friend.
Yeah.
Girlfriends. She just kind of looked at the Valkyrie animal.
Long
There
team
mu-
meeting.
That there might be a slight purr there, but it's like hesitant.
If she'll allow it, Cynthia will scratch her behind the ear.
Yeah, she will. She's a little hesitant at first, but she'll allow it.
Should we assist cleanup or
I think it's one of those
Leave.
things where
continue leaving?
Probably for the best. We
Yeah.
could assist, but we might also get in the way of recovery efforts. We should go find Calamity and Watchdog though at some point. Make sure nothing has gone more pear-shaped. You can also practice with pears.
It's not in season.
No, but when they
I feel
are
like
seasonal.
Sylvie-
It's the 50s and it's November.
Sylvie shifts back and says, the plants can grow pears.
They're probably gonna be like, I don't know,
Weird pears.
blue, but
The plants like blue.
Not in color, just in
what
taste.
does blue taste like?
It just tastes blue. They look like a normal pear, but they taste blue.
Like electricity and the rain in the wind. I wrote down what blue tastes like based on Sylvie's
Prior statements.
They're very vague, weird statements. I think Calamity was probably just nodding, like,
Oh
oh,
my God.
yeah. When you were saying that.
You can stay here as long as you need, though.
Who knows there's the impending Hund cult.
You're not wrong, but I get the impression they've been impending for a while now.
And we did just kind of have a vacation. But I would like to take a break, do some self-searching before we do this with hundreds of angry dogs and
I would agree with that.
then they go every
Let's try to avoid werewolf bowling. We go everywhere with pins. Well, we'll see if they let us take a break, but we can plan for one.
It's a break. Well, we still need it to gather information at the very least. So perhaps
True.
you can utilize that as a break while we make an informed decision regarding the cult.
We all need to talk.
Yeah.
lots and lots of talking.
So, meeting Joe's dad.
He's a wolf.
Apparently.
Magic.
Not the
wolf.
worst first impression. No one died.
Oh yeah.
No one died.
That's the whole.
No one tried to hit on him. I think that's
Mhm.
probably the best we can ask for.
He might have good assessment of what we can do. Well, probably not, but he's seen possibly the maximum destruction outside of Calamity running through a building.
I don't think what he thinks. I don't really have a dog in that race.
He is a dog, though. He might probably be more concerned for Watchdog now, having met his friends and seeing all of.
Watchdog's an adult. He can make his own decisions.
But Papa Dog, Watch Papa can still be concerned.
Watch Papa.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everyone's choices of what they do or don't do with the team are their own.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean they're not influenced by other people, but
True.
it's never been my policy to try to force anyone to stay.
We should go make sure Calamity and Watchdog are.
What are the bets on
Not
if
arrested.
Watchdog goes to the penthouse versus going home to his mom tonight.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
He was planning on going to his mom, so I guess that's probably what I would
It's
expect.
probably the plan still.
Well, I can't begrudge him that. We really need to talk. Let's get back though before it gets too late. And she'll get up and offer. We'll probably both Lena and Sylvia hand up if you want it.
Yeah.
Hand up, paw up.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you going?
Oh, yeah.
Back to the base?
I'm gonna radio Calamity to see where they are.
Okay. You're probably finishing up, like, the paramedics have left, some of the cops have left, and the restoration crews have started to come in and clean everything up.
Yeah, I think that Calamity would ask Watchdog and Lunar Ultima
Yep.
to just sniff around to see if there are any, like, if there was anybody trapped that we missed or we didn't see, like, just to double check that there's nobody else that's hurt or trapped in any of the wreckage or anything. You know, because they're better at that than the search and rescue, like the cops. And
Okay.
yeah, just to double check to make sure that there's nobody trapped anywhere that we need to get out, that we're not further needed to, like, make sure that the civilians are safe. She's trying to look like she's not great with words all the time, but, like, she tries to do the right thing, so it's like, you know.
Yeah, the two of them can head around it. And I'll say you probably find sort of like someone sort of like pseudo trapped. They ran into an alleyway and then a car got flipped over and, like, stuck up against the entrance, so they couldn't easily get out, but they weren't injured. So with all of you working together, you can move the car out of the way and they can get out.
Yeah. So we just do a round just for a little extra good PR, since there might have been a little accident.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Does Sarah also help out with this?
Yeah. She would. She doesn't have a huge issue with it since she's in her big shield armor mini mech suit.
I love it.
We invent Gundam.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
I feel like once this person's clear and there's no immediate, like, police or EMT presence, I think Watchdog would kind of, like, sidelong glance at her and then sort of say, "So you're working with us now?"
What?
I mean,
For the moment.
Oh, Sarah. I thought he was talking to Calamity. I'm like, I've been on the team the whole time. Like, where have you been?
Oh, talking to
I
Sarah,
know
talking to
you saw the
Barhelia.
team meetings, but geez.
I can help out from time to time.
She's got a clean slate. WD. She can just do, you know, like, she can just remake her image however she wants now.
I'm pretty sure crimes don't just disappear.
Shows what you know. Actually, I think it's pretty imperative that you come. That's a big word that Grandpa Les taught me. That you come actually straight to the base, because I know you want to tell your mom and stuff, but really, like, that could wait till brunch. Yes, we got issues. There's issues.
Yeah,
Like, well, maybe not bigger, maybe like the same size as a wolf pack.
I'll be at the base as soon as I'm done talking with her, okay? But I've already put her pretty far down the list here. I can't make her wait anymore.
Are you doing this because it's All right. Well, you know what? You make your own choices. If you want to come by late, that's fine. Just have the plants buzz you in.
What?
Oh, yeah. I didn't tell you. I taught the plants capitalism and also socialism and also sign language. But also they work at the building now.
They are the building.
I feel like Joe just slowly turns to his dad just to get a confirmation, like, you heard that too, right?
Is your dad going with you? Are you gonna go with Watchdog here to talk to
Eugene would turn to Joe and say, "Do you want me along?"
I won't force you, but I think you'll, I don't know, maybe help smooth things, because I can't imagine this is going to go over great.
Well, won't it be a little awkward for him to go, though?
Not any more awkward than the first time, I imagine.
I mean, like, all right, well, you know what? This is y'all's personal business. I really don't need to be up in here.
Yeah.
I got enough of my own personal problems, honestly.
Yeah, Eugene's just like, two of us are already divorced. The worst she can do is kick me out.
That's true. This is a true statement.
Joe's over 18. There aren't any custody battles anymore.
That's true. Also true. Well, you know, it's good to know that she didn't know, because I would have had some thoughts about everything, given things. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to the base. Y'all, would you like to just meet us there? Your dad might be more comfortable staying in one of our spare bedrooms, you know?
I mean,
Inviting people home.
if
Then
you're okay with that.
yeah, well, I mean, I should probably ask Cynthia right quick. So, like, just give me a second.
We can
Calm Cynthia and ask.
Eugene, I feel like you pull out your communicator and start calling her while Eugene is just like, we can work that out later.
Just meet us back at the base. But she's like talking to Cynthia, like, I'm gonna invite Watchdog's dad to stay in one of the spare rooms at the base. Okay.
Okay.
Well, he's only got a dorm room, and I know he doesn't want to stay with his ex-wife.
No, he's fine.
It's
just
a yes. She
This doesn't mean just don't extend this to villains.
no. I mean that obviously not.
If you do, I'm changing the door codes.
I'll just have the plants let me in. It's fine.
Sarah's the exception.
I feel like Cynthia's like, fucking plants.
She's more thinking of what would be a sufficient bribe to get them to listen to her instead.
Valkyrie will lean over and say the plants listen to you over Calamity.
It's a fight for the plants' fealty.
The plants pay me rent.
I'm the plant lord.
I do think Watchdog will switch on his own communicator. Echo?
Echo here?
They took help guy to prison in the cuffs. Still out, but stable.
The hospital, actually, but yeah.
Hospital. I did manage to look him over. Nothing identifying aside from a smell.
And all those burns.
Yeah, they're the burns.
Was it a burn smell?
No. You remember that dumpster behind Rook Labs?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it smelled like that.
You said they brought him to the hospital?
Yeah.
There's a non-zero chance he's not going to be there tomorrow.
Should we stop them then? Or
Can we?
kind of look at Roxy?
I mean, ambulance is
What?
already gone, so you're gonna have to.
I'd have to get on my bike and outrun the ambulance.
No, I didn't mean stop them from bringing to the hospital. I meant stop Rick Labs from reclaiming their test subject or whatever.
I mean, I could cause some other problems for them that they would have to address. I could make bigger issues for them than one escaped person.
I mean, it smelled like the location that we went to, so
Chances are we know where he's gonna end up.
Exactly. So maybe we can't.
One of us could
Guard.
stay in the room with it, or like scope out the maybe Sarah could scope out the hotel or the hospital. Sorry.
Consider it. I'd be inclined to not do that because
All right. Well,
they probably know that we're onto them, but let's not add fuel to that fire, maybe.
Yeah, no, that was actually my plan, is to distract them by adding fuel to the fire. Not literal fuel to a literal fire, but like knocking this shit down and wrecking this stuff.
I appreciate the specification.
Yeah. Sometimes I gotta be specific because you never know with me, really.
Arson is fun, but maybe not right now.
I mean, arson isn't really my first choice. I'm pretty good at just knocking buildings down on my own, so I don't really need to arson things usually, but you know.
The city should pay you for construction. You can take the buildings down real fast.
I would be such a good demolition person.
Okay. We're getting off topic though.
Yeah. On your end, did you find EL?
She's here.
Sure, right?
Kind of looks up. Eventually, I think.
All right. I'll be back at the base as soon as I can. I've really got to get to my mom's place.
All right. If anything happens, please radio, because at this point, if it can go wrong, it will.
Yeah, seems like it.
Calamity said your dad would be staying with us, which is fine if he's... Does he know how deeply bizarre all of us are?
I gave him a summary. I think this was kind of a tour de force.
Okay. As long as he has some idea of what he's getting into.
I mean, he's a werewolf, so I imagine there's some tolerance for...
There's a werewolf, and then there's teaching plants capitalism.
Yeah, Rox mentioned that. What is that about?
That is incredibly literal.
But it's a
Valkyrie's Fae plants took over actually most of the building. They're
What?
running the elevator, so I guess it's polite to tip them.
What, do I give him fertilizer, or?
I was just giving him money. What are they doing with it? I don't know. They took it though.
There's a pocket dimension somewhere.
Okay.
My coffee machine only makes strawberry coffee. There are capitalist and or socialist plants in my apartment. I'm not sure which they are at the moment. And can't show my face as a civilian because people are trying to get Roxy. So
That's actually a good point. Maybe I should get Roxy to base before heading to my mom's place if somebody's after her right now.
We can swing by where you are and take her with us. That'd probably be more efficient all around.
All right.
Yeah. Also, thank you for bringing that up. Quick details for things you missed. There are some people out there, probably the people who changed Calamity in the first place, who have some sort of code that makes her just mind gone, follows orders. They tried to
like one of those decoder ring things?
Decoder ring.
Like a secret code? Like,
yeah, kinda. Like a series of words, numbers. They said it, she was gone. They tried to take her, and didn't succeed. But
I'm guessing, though, there's also apparently 2 of her.
coming back to this timeline, had some ripples, I think. There's
Sure.
a civilian Calamity here who doesn't remember being Calamity, doesn't remember any of us, has no knowledge of anything, and
Well, nothing. I think I talked with her.
oh,
I didn't realize it.
how'd that go?
I mean, she knew me as, like, Tony's friend, but
I mean, I guess that makes sense. If she wouldn't know you through
she also,
this.
like, knew about our Halcyon.
Yeah,
She just didn't think she had powers or was a hero.
I think it's some sort of timeline divergence. I don't have any proof for this, just a theory. I think this might be Roxy as Roxy would have been if the hairspray factory had never happened. But now we have Roxy who did
Okay.
experience that reality, and now they're in the same place. I
And
don't know if that's true, or if it is true, I don't know how or why. But
and other Roxy's with Tony.
yeah, because people know the people after Roxy don't know that there's 2, and they know her face. So ours is fine to be out here masked up, but
Wait, how would they not know there's 2 then? If other Roxy's with her family, wouldn't that be the first place they'd look?
okay, they might know there's 2, but I'd rather
But then what? No, I need to stop.
Roxy wants to try and meet her other self to see if they fuse into one self. And I think until we know what's going on, that's a bad idea.
That couldn't actually happen, right?
I mean, I don't think it's likely.
All right.
You're a werewolf.
Yeah, I don't fuse with people. Sort of like
Fuse with
looks
a
over
wolf.
at Eugene. We don't fuse with people, right?
No.
No, we don't fuse with people.
The world is full of weird and messed up things.
I gathered.
We'll meet you there. Get Calamity, check in with your mom, and meet us back.
Yeah.
Anything happens, please tell us.
Yeah. I'll be back at the base. I don't know how long talking with my mom's gonna take. Probably be back there. What time is it at this point? Is there a clock on these communicators?
Probably like it's getting later in the day, probably around like 4 or 5 p.m.
I'll probably be back at the base around, 7 or so. I'll let you guys know when I'm headed there.
All right. For what it's worth, I'm glad you're back.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry I'm adding more stacks to this log cabin made of BS.
Well, can't be honest. There's always a crisis somewhere. It's kind of the bread and butter of this life.
Talk more once I've got things sorted out.
We'll see you in a few, and then later.
Yeah.
Echo out.
And I'll wait for everyone to arrive, and
Yep.
once I'm confident they've got Roxy secure, I will slip back to the junkyard with Eugene,
Mm-hmm.
get back in the rocket, and head to my mother's penthouse.
All right. Well, the rest of the team goes back to the base. We'll follow Joe for the moment. See how this goes, but you can get to where, remind me, do they live in an apartment?
They lived in a penthouse downtown.
Okay. You can get to the building where their penthouse is located.
Yeah, and I'll buzz the apartment number.
Say, Samuel responds, says, Kirby residence.
Hey, Sam. We're here.
We'll buzz you right up. Line cuts and the door clicks. You can pull it open.
Just like brushing off glass and dust off of himself.
Yeah. Eugene will get a little bit that's stuck in the back of your hair. Clear it out. But the two of you can head inside and take the elevator up to the penthouse, which opens in a short hallway. You can walk down and get to the door. Probably before you even get there, it's Tallulah yanks it open and is just standing there in the doorway staring at you and is like, oh my gosh, Joe, you're back. And she rushes forward and will like throw her arms around you. She's
Joe's already going in for the hug himself.
much smaller than you, but she knows what she wants.
Yep.
She squeezes you tightly and will kind of like rub her hands up and down your back and just like touching like your shoulders and your back and like making sure you're actually real and you're there, and will eventually will pull back and inspect you, and then before you can really regain your balance, will like pull you back in for another hug and then push you back to look at you again and pull you back in for another hug before Samuel from behind her says, come, Tallulah, bring him inside. We should probably sit down. You're squeezing all the air out of him.
We need to talk.
And Tallulah looks over her shoulder at Sam and says, I know, and she looks back at you and says, okay, and I think at this point she notices Eugene and says, and Eugene is here as well. He smiles genially and nods to her and says, hello, Tallulah. Nice to see you again. She kind of looks between Eugene and you and just nods. Okay, make us some coffee. And we'll walk you into the penthouse. And after you and Eugene enter, Samuel will close the door and direct both of you to the living room where the couches are to have a seat, while Tallulah goes into the kitchen and puts on a pot of coffee.
As we're waiting, Joe will turn the volume down on it. He is going to switch on the TV and see if he can find any news coverage of what just happened.
Yeah, I think you can get to the 5 o'clock news, and the anchor is just like, and now for a breaking story of this afternoon's events. It seems like a new villain has come on the scene and caused quite a bit of havoc downtown. Reports from witnesses say that this new villain had powers of seaweed or other vines that they were using to throw cars and other debris around, but a team of superheroes that had been absent from the field for the past couple of months have made their valiant return and stopped this villain in their tracks. And it just goes on, counting all the details and everything.
Turn down the volume on it. So it's just kind of playing in the background.
Yeah, Sam will kind of look at you and say, are you doing okay? You made it back okay?
Yeah, drive wasn't too bad, I guess. You guys have been doing okay?
For the most part. Really just worried about you and what happened. Tallulah's been pretty anxious waiting for you to get back here.
probably gonna want to pull up a chair. This is gonna take a bit.
He's probably, I imagine it's like there are two couches that are facing each other in a middle coffee table, and I imagine you and Eugene sat on one and he sat on the one across from you. So I think at this point Tulula comes back with a tray with a coffee pot and some cups, and we'll start pouring the coffee and passing cups around for everyone.
Yo 100% takes his coffee like half cut with cream.
Okay.
Just sips a little bit and then just sort of like deep breath. So I'm guessing you guys have a lot of questions. And I'm here to answer what I can and to come clean about a few things.
Tallulah just sighs and is like, what's been going on with you these past couple months? You just up and disappeared, and we couldn't get in contact with you, and you're talking like you've been hiding other stuff from us. What's going on, Joe?
Okay. Oh, where do we start with this? Okay. Let's start with the immediate thing. Me being gone for the past 2 months. That wasn't me. I mean, it was me, but another me. I'm not gonna act like I fully get it, but me and another version of me from another Halcyon got switched. Other Joe never left Arizona because you guys never split. I woke up in Arizona and he woke up here. I didn't really know what was going on. Made it back out to Halcyon trying to find a way home, and I think he kind of did the same. Of course, for me, I was gone for a week at most, trying to figure out how to get back. For him, it was 2 months. For you guys, it was 2 months.
How does switched places? How does that even happen?
Okay. Well, there was gosh, okay. I think I need to take this even farther back to sort of explain things. You remember on my 18th that bear attack?
Yeah.
It wasn't a bear. Okay. I need you guys to just not freak out for 1 minute. Just, I want you to know it's still me with what's about to happen, okay?
What are you talking about?
I shift.
Oh my god. I think Tallulah just legitimately screams because she's so taken aback, and Sam's eyes go wide, and he like puts a hand on her back and arm to support her since she's clearly freaking out, and he's just kind of like sitting there in shock, and he's just like, what? Oh my god, okay. And Eugene will put a hand on your shoulder and will lean forward and address Tallulah and say, Joe is a werewolf. This isn't... I know it's probably going to be a little hard to accept, but he was bitten and gained the power to change. And Tallulah's just like looking back and forth between the two of you.
I don't think Joe really sees that because he's kind of doing a similar thing where his like eyes are just sort of scrunched closed and he's just like bracing.
Yeah, I think you also miss where she just like buries her face in her hands and is just like doesn't know how to process this. And Sam very calmly is just like, so how did that point get us to here? And who was just like, oh my god, he's a werewolf. Oh my god, he's a werewolf.
Joe will, without really opening his eyes, reach into his pocket and pull out the watchdog mask. I've been trying to use this to help people. And he just kind of like points at the TV, which, if we really want to do the dramatic timing, is probably showing him and Calamity. With him in the same clothes, I might add. He didn't have the chance to change into a costume. It's just the werewolf wearing the mask and the same clothes.
Well, it's probably more of because they didn't have access to like easy video recording, so it's probably more just like past still camera shots of everyone in the field, and
Artist
they probably
renditions.
They probably have more like accurate visuals of the aftermath of the scene when news crews could get there and the repairs and everything. So actually, maybe they have a couple shots of the two of you with Sarah like on the sidelines as you're waiting to take care, like waiting for the rest of the team to get back to head out.
Or lifting that car to let the person out of the alley.
Yeah. Actually, we'll go with that. That's a good shot. That's just playing on the screen.
It's Calamity and Watchdog lifting the car gently out of the alley.
And then I think you hear, I mean, your eyes are closed, but what we see is that Samuel's looking between the TV and you and says a little softer than normal, and probably with, you'd be able to tell a little, like, some awe in his voice, just like, you're a superhero.
Trying to be.
And so it was just like, what are you thinking? Do you know how dangerous this is?
It's a little less dangerous for me, but I was able to do good.
And so it's just like, I can't believe this.
I wouldn't have chosen this, but
Samuel says, Tallulah, calm down. Just, Joe obviously has very strong feelings about this, about what he's doing, and while it does shed some light on things that have happened, such as some of the purchases that he's made, I think we should hear out what he has to say. It's obviously very important to him. Are you still scrunching your eyes shut?
So to say, I think at this point, Joe's just like peeking a look.
Yeah. Tallulah still has her face buried in her hands, but Samuel is smiling pretty warmly at you. And just like when he sees you looking, just nods his head a couple times.
It started with you remember that that like kidnapping attempted on campus? The Red Suns, I think they were.
Yes.
Henry was in the class they went after, and I knew I could do something about that. So I did. And it felt great helping people. And then the mayor sent that letter thanking me for saving his daughter, and started helping more people. And then this other hero, Echo, wanted me to join her team. And I mean, it was going okay for a while, and then we were investigating this guy who could cross worlds, and next thing we all knew, we were stuck in another world while our other versions came here. If I had known, I wouldn't have. I'm sorry.
Tallulah's just quiet, but Sam says, "We're glad you made it back safe."
I'm still me. I promise I'm still me.
I think Tallulah just says, I need a minute, and we'll get up and leave the room. Eugene will place a hand on your shoulder, and you can see Sam watch Tallulah leave. And when the door shuts behind her, he turns back to you and he smiles and he says, "I think you're finally showing us the Joe Hatapley that's been hiding all this time. And I'm glad to see it."
I'm glad you see it. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'll shift back.
That's okay. I don't know if anyone truly figures out who they are until their time comes to an end. And even then, it can still be a mystery. But you seem to have found something you care a hell of a lot for, and I can't fault you for that.
I'm guessing this isn't anything super new to you.
Knowing all the details of what you're dealing with, yes, that is new. I obviously didn't know everything, but was a bit concerned by some of the behaviors I was seeing with sneaking around, some of the secrecy. Very obviously with the 2-month-long disappearance when we didn't know what was going on. But as far as having one foot in the superhero world, that is not new.
Joe kind of like stuffs the mask back in his pocket. Kind of like glances where Tallulah left.
Eugene follows your gaze and sighs and says, after to go talk to her, but I don't know if that would really help. And Sam looks at him and says, you obviously came here for a reason, so maybe you could. Oh. Eugene sighs and he'll push himself to his feet and say, well, if anything, her chasing me out of here with a pitchfork will at least be entertaining and probably lighten the mood. And he will head over towards the door, leaving you with Sam. The door will open and shut as Eugene leaves the room, and Sam says, I think she'll be okay. It just needs some time to process everything. I'm sure she still sees you as a helpless little boy, and it's a shock having to contend with realizing someone is a grown adult and can take care of themselves.
Did I leave? I don't. I don't know if I should stay, I guess.
What do you want to do?
I want to go back 2 months and never step through that stupid hole in the world. But it's not really an option. Now, on top of all this, my team needs me too, and still haven't gotten a chance to sit down and talk with Henry.
One thing at a time. if there's anything that you need that I can help provide, all you need to do is ask.
I guess not right now, but if I think of something, I'll call, I guess.
Please do.
Joe kind of like stands up and nervously paces a touch.
Sam will just sit there and sip at his coffee. Wait.
And despite his desire to do otherwise, Joe will wait as well.
Okay. Probably a few minutes pass before you just hear a high-pitched Eugene! And then the door opens and he strolls out and is like, well, time for me to leave.
Meet you back at the dorm.
How about I just wait down at the car?
Yeah. It's probably a better idea.
And he will walk out the door, and I think as he's opening the door, Tallulah like comes and stands in the doorway, and her face is red, and she's huffing, and she just throws out a casual "Nice to see you again, Tallulah," and then shuts the door behind him as he leaves. And Tallulah kind of just stomps her foot. It's like, that man.
There's just like the tiniest bit of Joe that's just like, and now I miss the other world.
Sam chuckles a little bit. And will raise an eyebrow at Tallulah and say, are you feeling better? And I think that kind of brings her back to the situation at hand. And she looks over at you, looks at Samuel, and looks at the TV. She just kind of sighs and will walk over and sit back on the couch.
Joe's just kind of like standing still, like arms sort of folded around himself.
He says, this is really something you want to do?
Yeah. It's feels like something I have to do. Just not using what I have when I could help people. Feels like that'd be as bad as just robbing them or beating them up myself. I can help people who are being hurt. Maybe I'm not saving the world, but I'm saving somebody's world.
And if that means losing your own life?
I mean, that's pretty hard to do with me, but that's not the point. I'm not going to act like there's not risks. But I'm also not going to act like this isn't Halcyon. I'm not going to act like there isn't some maniac who can, I don't know, shoot lasers out of his eyes, who decides that he's fed up with his boss and cuts a building in half. And I'm not going to act like I couldn't save a lot of people by getting in the way of that. And I'm also not going to act like I wouldn't do the same, if not more, for you guys and for Dad and for Henry.
I don't want you to get hurt.
No. The fact of the matter is, I'm tougher than you guys, and I'd rather it be me than you guys. Or anybody else who doesn't have what I have. I'm not saying I'm not going to be careful. I've been trying to be. I'm working with the team, and that's, safer. You can watch each other's backs. And right now, a lot of them are in their own kinds of trouble that I think I can help with. But once I know they're okay, if you want me to stop, I'll stop. Because I'm not trying to do this to hurt you.
Lula's just been sitting with her face buried in her hands this whole time, and from the way her shoulders have been shaking, you can tell she's been crying. And at that, she looks up and will start to say, Joe, I want... And Sam puts a hand on her shoulder and stops her. And will look to you and say, follow your heart.
I feel like Joe slowly uncrosses his arms and comes over and hugs his mom.
She hugs you back and clutches the back of your shirt and just sobs.
I'll be okay, Mom. I promise, okay?
You better, or I'm going to resurrect you. Punish you so badly you'll regret dying.
I wouldn't put it past you. pulls back a little bit and just sort of like is holding her like on her shoulders, sort of at arm's length.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I can talk more about it later, but right now my team's waiting for me. They need watchdog.
Sam smiles and put an arm around Tallulah and kind of pull her back so she's not like holding you in place. Not that that would matter much because you're much stronger than she is. But he nods and says, go help your friends. I think we could both take some time to process this new information and we could talk more later.
Okay. I love you, Mom.
I love you too, Joe.
I feel like Joe starts to walk away and sort of stops and puts a hand on Sam and just says, thanks.
You're welcome. If you need anything, you can come to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And fully starting to just cry, Joe is gonna walk out.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume that counts as marking a potential for revealing my identity.
Oh, yes. Big identity reveal.
I don't know why, but the lead on my pencil keeps on breaking tonight.
Oh.
But while Joe heads down to the rocket to go back to the base with Eugene, the rest of you probably just do a quick little.
I was about to
scene
say, is
here.
it okay if I bug you guys for a scene with Sylvie and the girls?
Do it.
Yeah, we need to have a
Yeah.
talk.
I don't think Sylvie's even going to focus on like the girlfriend aspect. I think.
First of all, when you get back to the base, you see, as you get inside, there is a small little rolled up scroll of paper that is just floating in the air in the base.
I think it does. I don't know if Sylvie even grabs it at this point because there's something more pressing on her mind.
Is this a you thing?
I think Sylvie nods and does grab it, and she's like, "But it can wait." I think she turns and looks at all three of the girls and says, "I know what I did tonight. I don't regret it. If it comes down to the team or someone else, I will use my power to defend you. And unlike you, Cynthia, I was not raised by Hecate. I was not taught not to kill. In fact, I was raised in the exact opposite way, that if my own were threatened, it was to retaliate with as much force as possible. And for the first time in decades, I have a team again, people I care about again, and I will not lose you, won't lose any of you, to something I can fix, especially when the root of the problem came from my own power."
I'm not asking you to. That person died. You said nobody died.
Briefly.
Well, just for like a minute, I don't know what I did, but there was little
To do the
sparks
arm
coming.
flapping?
No, I don't know how to do the arm flapping thing. I just put them on the ground and then I like put my hand over them and there was sparks and then the heartbeat came back. So they died, but like only for like a minute. So it was no. Sylvia, I really appreciate how protective you are of us, and I think that's great, and I love that you care that much about us, and that means a lot to all of us. Also, like maybe when I've already got them in the cuffs, maybe like we don't need to like kill them. Just a thought. Take the feedback how you want it, like whatever. I mean, I know they were kicking me, and I appreciate that made you very, very angry. And that they hurt Elena, which also made me angry. But like maybe just like temper it a little bit. Maybe just a little.
I heard the whole street owned the autos.
Nobody got hurt from your stuff, Elena. I know that was very scary for you, and I'm sorry that I couldn't like run after you and comfort you. I wanted to make sure the bad person got neutralized.
I also asked Roxy to stay to make sure nothing went pear-shaped.
Yeah.
It's the pears.
It's always the pears.
I remember when I crushed that whole building, like on accident when I threw that sticky grenade. Like shit happens. You kept the building from falling down on people, so like we just gotta rely on each other. Sometimes things go sideways, and we just gotta improvise and help each other. So,
That's what Cynthia said earlier.
Yeah,
Forgot your street name.
Remember right after that, Cynthia's
government name.
Cynthia just kind of her powers kind of went out of control. But look, she stopped the glass from hitting everybody. Which was awesome. High five, Cynthia. Good save on that, because I literally have no way to stop glass from flying through the air. So except for to catch it with my body, and that's not ideal.
Dangerous.
That's not ideal for me.
Well, good, Rex. Yeah. I have lost power in the field, or lost control of my power in the field, and you've all helped me.
Yeah.
These things happen.
They do. And that's why we're a team and we help each other. And Sylvie, I'm trying to be really like understand fake culture. Yeah. I just don't want you to get in trouble for killing anybody.
Yeah, there are laws against that here.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
I appreciate that.
And I don't know how well, it sounds like you don't have remorse. I got scared when
I have remorse that I disappointed you and my abilities led to the situation to begin with.
I don't blame you for that. You saved the whole city with the seaweed. Maybe you can't really help that the seaweed, like people took the seaweed and did bad things with it, or I guess I don't know. Maybe they went swimming and the seaweed got them. I don't know how all this happened, but it sounded like, was I there for the before I start metagaming? I don't do that inadvertently.
Elena and I were not there for any of that, so she's just
So I was there when Joe was talking on the comm to Cynthia, though, right? Like, or at least in hearing distance.
After the cleanup of the fight just now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I would have heard that like it smelled like
the
Brooks.
lab.
Yeah. And I didn't know that at the time, but now I have a little bit more empathy for them because, I was also in a lab. Well, hairspray factory, but similar.
It might have been a lab in hindsight, perhaps.
Yeah.
At the same time, there are people like, God, not me, was it Leah?
Yeah.
At
With the black hole powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people like Leah who have also get experimented on and don't go out of their way to do
That's
things
true too.
like this.
That's true too. I don't really know what was going on in their head. They didn't really talk to me. I tried to talk to them when I had that arm in the cuff and I was holding it. Then they tried to just kick my knee, but that didn't work well for them because I guess my bones are strong.
Is that a question at this point?
Oh, yeah. No, not really. I got strong bones. Yeah.
I'm proud of you for trying to talk to them, even if it didn't work.
Yeah. I mean, I tried because my first priority was get the cuff on them so that they couldn't attack people with seaweed. Also, I also wanted them to let go of Elena, and I felt like the best way to get them to let go of Elena was to just neutralize the power. But you know, I did try to talk to them, like maybe we could like help you some other way, or we could like maybe just have a conversation. Throwing cars isn't usually the solution. I mean, it can be at times, I suppose. There might be moments where throwing cars might be a solution, but you know, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, so we're all dating now? I have questions about this. I don't know if this is a great time to talk about it or if you should just like shelve it for later.
Is
but-
this like team girlfriends or girlfriends?
like, are we gonna make out and
There are
stuff or no?
Like
I'm
a
not
team of girlfriends versus
Girlfriends with somebody in the
girlfriends.
team capacity. If you're my girlfriend, you're my girlfriend.
Yeah, I think we need to define that word. I don't know if
Yeah,
it
that's fair.
exists in Fae. It might just be
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
Sweden. They
Cultural
might just
barriers.
have
Sweden, yeah.
one word for partner.
Are we
Hey,
all
Sylvie
in a
is
romantic
just like slowly
relationship?
processing, and she just ultimately says, "You are mine, and I am yours," and leaves it at that.
Roxy just looks at Elena and looks at Cynthia and is like,
Clarification. Does this mean you are in favor of making out again?
yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
is
that was my next
romantic
question.
yours?
Okay, so we're
Romantic
making-
girlfriends
we can make
versus
out and
platonic
stuff. Okay.
girlfriends.
Okay.
Like, are
all
we
right.
just roommates or are we roommates?
Oh my god, they were roommates.
So where does Watchdog fit in? He is just platonic boyfriends then.
he is platonic
I'm not.
werewolf friend.
He's a
Even
family
if
dog.
he didn't
the
have a
pet.
complicated thing, I would not date him for love or money.
Yeah, no, he's my type. He's good looking, but like, you know,
Not into dicks.
that's fair.
He's not. He has
He also has
eyes on
Henry.
someone, and that's okay.
No, well, regardless,
little
even if he
bit.
didn't have Henry, he
Henry's
makes
He
that.
is Tony's friends. That is weird.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a whole conversation I'm gonna have to have with Tony about things. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Well, anyways, I'll deal with that later because that's not a now problem. That's a later problem. Anyways,
That's whenever we
call
find
him.
Tony again,
Yeah,
too,
when-
we don't know where he is.
Joe is not he's not my type because he like personality wise, he seems like more of like a brotherly type. You know.
Okay, I've spiritually moved on from this part of this conversation.
That's good. I don't like this conversation anyways. It's weird to talk about Joe in a romantic sense. I don't want to do that. It feels icky. And
It is,
even
however,
if he was,
hilarious.
Yes.
and even if he wasn't a brotherly type, you know,
He's
he's not very honest
So we
and has
have
some self-esteem issues.
team girlfriends and team brother.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
okay.
he's our older brother to the lesbian polycule.
Yeah, he is older, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a couple years older than us.
how old is Joe?
No.
21, right?
Joe is 22 as of now a
Okay,
few
so
months
he
ago.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Roxy's like 19.
I don't know.
Sylvie's
how old
like,
I am.
but
Sylvie is
Sylvie
questionable.
Sylvie might be like 78
like
years
3 question
old, but
marks.
very well preserved.
Many question marks.
All the question marks.
I
Sylvie is
didn't-
20XX.
Oh, I have a whole birth date. Hang on.
Not even a partial one.
I did all of those.
But
What year is it?
with is there anything else anyone wanted to add?
I'm gonna hold off on
think
opening that scroll until
Elena might be
next
21,
session.
20 now.
I think
Okay.
at some point, Cynthia is going to try to find an opportunity to talk to Sylvie just one-on-one.
Okay.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to save that for next session after letters and
I'd say
decompression?
now because
Okay.
it's going to be relevant now and it's
Yeah,
not going to be
go
relevant
for it.
later.
As long as everyone's okay staying, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay too. I don't
Yeah.
have anything.
Then
Pressing.
Sylvie
she
will
is
allow herself to
specifically-
be pulled away.
She's specifically making sure this is not in earshot of either Elena or Roxy.
I feel like Roxy would very much be like, okay, so post fight snacks.
Yes.
I'd be like, come on, Elena.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. She's like making tea for all of us, and Roxy's like making snacks.
Here, Elena,
The
have a
tea's
cookie.
actually normal.
Yeah.
That's one thing they didn't touch.
I don't want to make assumptions about where you think my head is at right now, but going off of how this started, I'm not angry. I'm not even really disappointed. I understand. The rule is there because if you decide to kill someone, it can make it easier to kill more people. It can become an easy solution to a complicated problem. And what I'm going here for is going to be team move number 2 from my book.
What is your team move number 2?
Which is when you share a vulnerability or weakness with somebody, tell them a secret about your mentor, including your feelings towards them, give them influence over you, and add a team to the pool. She's just going to say, it's not like Hecate has never killed someone when it mattered. When it really, really mattered. It's not a tool to use easily or frivolously, or sometimes even when people that you love are in danger. But sometimes it is when people you love are in danger, or when the city is in danger. The rule isn't there for me. It's there for her. And I follow it. Please do not repeat this.
I guess Sylvie, seeing it as my vulnerability team move also fits in very much with this. So this would be take one, when I share a vulnerability, take one moving forward to follow how Echo advises me to fit in. And I think Sylvie will look directly at Echo when she is requested not to share it. She says, I give my word that does not leave this room And I understand, or I'm beginning to understand where the line regarding killing is. And I am doing my best to follow that line. But I do believe that when I've already lost one team to turning and running and refusing to fight where it truly mattered, I'm not going to lose this team to that same.
She's gonna, if you'll allow it, she will take Sylvie's hands. She's gonna
Sylvie
say,
will allow it.
I understand that. I'm just asking you to make sure that it matters.
I will.
Okay. Sylvia already has influence over Cynthia, so Sylvia, how would you like to shift Cynthia's labels?
I think I'm going savior up and danger down.
Interesting. Okay.
Is that where you'd like to wrap up that scene?
That's all I had.
I think Sylvie will give Cynthia's hand a squeeze and lead her back into the other room, and say, I think we should wait until everyone is here to go over the contents of this letter.
All right. That's fair. Until everybody gets here, I'm going to take a goddamn nap.
Fair.
No.
And she's going to go pass out on the couch because, yeah.
I think Sylvie will sit down somewhere near her, but she will keep staring at the letter apprehensively because she knows it's from one of two sources and she doesn't know which.
Okay.
I think Roxy's in the kitchen with Elena and she's just kind of spending some time comforting and supporting her, you know, because it was a scary thing and her powers are big and, you know.
Are you actually trying to use the comfort and support move?
Yeah, I want to comfort and support Elena.
You will have to explain how you're doing this.
Well, she's just going to be telling her, like, we all have moments where things get out of control and, you know, it's not about the mistakes we make. It's about learning from them and moving forward with those lessons that we learn. She's going full on Grandpa Les in the kitchen while holding Elena's hand.
Okay. Go ahead and roll plus mundane.
Okay. Let me make sure I don't have any weird mechanics for this. I do not. Okay.
Wait, are you angry?
I am.
No,
I
is
am.
if
I am.
That's a
Roxy's
minus
angry,
2.
you have a -2 to comfort or support.
You're correct, I do. So I got a 7 with a -2.
Okay.
So let me look here. I don't know if that counts as a hit or not.
It
I think
does.
that's a hit.
7 to 9 is a hit.
Yeah.
So Lena, you hear her. Are you going to open up?
Yeah. It's terrifying and exhilarating all at the same time.
Yeah.
That much potential. But you just sneeze and it's everywhere.
Is that really something that's happened for you?
That's no.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't being literal.
No
okay,
literal
okay, good.
sneezes and building
Okay,
exploding.
good. Because that would
a
be
whole different problem.
yeah. Yep. Calamity was taking a moment to think about whether she could sneeze and wreck a building.
Probably could.
That'd be pretty funny.
Sneeze loud enough to break the sound barrier.
Silver Age Superman say what?
Right? Superman cannot get a
just-
cold, and that's the reason why he can't, because he would just
Sneeze
take out
and
whole buildings.
Everything is pears again.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of just been the way our life has been for a little bit here, you know?
Every time it seems we make progress and do something good, then
Yeah.
a million more things.
It's like there's a weird wizard behind the curtain that's
Mhm.
kind of, you know, causing
The
consequences
two of you
for us.
and a bunch of werewolves in the cult.
in the shadow organization that I'm
The
apparently
weird
asleep
shadow
in.
organization
sleep-
and probably Echoes that is involved in one of those.
I guess that the
Statistically.
shadow organization, or maybe Rook Labs, and they might all be
Tons
related.
of labs doing evil things instead of whatever it is they do.
Is it terrible that I kind of hope that those things are all connected so that we just like have two delineated, well, like three delineated problems that we can just like address all at once for
I
efficiency's
feel
sake?
like that would be worse because then it's one big strong thing instead
You might
of
be right. I'm not sure.
three big strong things.
It just feels like I like it to be one thing on the list to cross off, because the list keeps getting longer. And if we could cross it all off at once, that'd
And
be
we were
great. But
supposed to be in school, and it's all like some other force in the universe did not want us to go to school again.
yeah, I know. What do they have against me being an engineer and you being an astronomer?
In college, in college,
In college. It's almost like they didn't want to go back to college.
leave meeting.
Yeah. War flashbacks.
Oh my god, right. On top
Um,
of the dean's building.
anyway, Elena, you can mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels.
I will take a potential.
Also, I believe as part of my team move, we did add team to the pool.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I get to add
we at
potential
14?
as well, because I
No, we're at
marked it.
13. We were at 12, so now we're at 13.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we mark potential when we help each other, don't we?
Yep, when you comfort and
The
support.
three of us.
Yep.
What
But
bone?
with that, I think we'll move on to our end of session questions.
See, I had one plan and then Bree Witten ruined it with that last little talk.
Oh, I know,
So,
right?
Hmm.
Cynthia's getting influence. Otherwise, Sylvie would have grown into her.
Sorry.
My plan didn't really go so well because the dice were like too good
No.
today.
Yeah, that'll be
Dice for, like,
will
no.
be taking that potential and clearing my potential track. So I'm still very much afraid because that freaking letter came on top of everything else that's happening.
Who knows
Add
what
it to the
says?
pile.
Mm,
We have a bunch of werewolves that are attacking us. Calamity, there's 2 of her and a secret
Well, technically, the werewolves
organization.
haven't attacked. They're just
They're debating.
They're a looming presence.
They also could be Fae in Sylvie's mind, so it's just all
They're infiltrating the
bad.
government on all levels before they attack, actually. It's way worse. It's a full-on
Communists.
conspiracy.
So I guess
Communists are werewolves.
Cynthia, you get to shift my labels.
Again.
Okay, so I don't know if this will put you over or under, but savior up
Nope,
and no.
nope, that
Okay.
would not. So
What
Charlie,
conditions do you have?
pick. I just have afraid right now.
Okay. Guilty.
Guilty. That fits.
I can go next here. I'm going to select grow away from the team but it's
Oh.
less the team. And well,
More
Sylvie.
Dad.
Sylvie.
yeah, one particular
Oh.
member whose
Yep.
opinion Joe has unfortunately immediately reverted.
He's
Sorry, Sylvie.
like, we just fixed this, and then she goes and kills someone.
Yep. Literally, it was like not 30 minutes ago. Joe was like, "Okay, maybe I can start to trust her a little bit." Nope, bad idea. Bad friggin' idea.
5 minutes later.
Yes,
made
it
a
was like one of
poor
those.
decision.
I deleted the wrong thing. We want Sylvie doesn't have influence over Joe. That's the right one. There we go. Okay.
She just got it and held on to it for an entire 25 minutes.
Which I know is longer than it's been going before. So
Yeah.
still a new high score.
For Cynthia, it's probably going to be so I'm torn, but I don't think there's enough that actually she did directly for her to grow into her own image. So I'm going to say grow closer to the team, specifically Sylvie, because she appreciates Sylvie being at least willing to hear her out. And you already have influence over me,
Yeah,
so
so I'm just trying to think of which labels because I just shifted yours and I'm like, oh crap.
Now
Him again.
You could shift the same ones.
I know, but I have a feeling that that one's going to be getting high.
I am going to mark potential. Because if I get a condition, then that would track.
I'm going to say again, I feel like Sylvie is seeing her as a savior. Is that going to bump you above? Ah, dang it.
My
It's
savior
fine.
is at
Condition
3.
away, add
Yeah, that's-
condition.
Do you
Yeah.
don't have any? Do you have any conditions
No.
marked?
No.
Okay.
Oh, then you're fine. The rest of us are hovering at 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3, who knows?
I'll give you a choice between hopeless and insecure.
Wouldn't blame you for taking hopeless right now.
Things do feel a little hopeless.
We've gone beyond.
I'm
issue
torn because on
sandwich.
one hand, I'd say my argument for hopeless would be that there are just so many things going on right now that she doesn't know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
My argument for insecure is that is something she did not want to tell Sylvie.
I would say insecure
Yeah.
over hopeless because I don't
I'd
feel like
say
you
for a very
lost
personal
hope.
sense, it would probably be
Yeah.
insecure.
Okay. Yeah, because my
Also,
thought
we
for
had a new girlfriend we didn't
my
know
thought
about,
for
so
hopeless is also just the amount of problems, but I don't know. I'm not sure
yeah.
if that is impacting Cynthia as heavily as something else might be right now.
I think Cynthia's more used to dealing with 3 million things at once, and she's not used to telling people things about Hecate that
Okay.
Hecate would probably not want her to tell,
Okay.
yeah.
Especially to Sylvie.
especially to Sylvie.
Who calls Hecate at 3 a.m. and asks her if she wants to know what blue tastes like?
Oh man.
That probably still happens, but
I imagine it does. I imagine we all like wake up at some point and you're like full on, and Hecate's like, "What the fuck?
Did you know
Why
I'm
are
dating
you
your not
calling?"
daughter?
Sylvie has enough self-preservation not to bring that up, right?
What's your
Check if you find a
problems?
time machine to get to the
Roxy
future so
does
she can
not.
Google how do I unadopt a child.
Yes.
Except I guarantee there's some point that Sylvie just slips and calls Hecate mom because at this point she's dating her
She's our
daughter.
super mom.
You're also
Yeah, no, they all get called mom at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I
you
was gonna say you're
call their
also
moms
dating
mom.
Elena, who's your mom's kid.
It's okay, it's not biological.
For what it's worth, I think that
Weird.
Hecate, knowing that
Circular
you were
tree.
at least trying to parse out the line of when it is and is not okay to kill somebody, would probably actually help you with her.
Endear you a little.
Because at least then she knows you're considering it rather than just kind of
Just
maybe
outright
eating
killing
people in the
everyone.
background.
I'm actually shocked Roxy hasn't blurted out that she's dating Cynthia to Hecate. She literally blurts it out to
hasn't come up,
everybody.
really.
I
There,
mean, to be
there's
fair, you
a lot
haven't-
of interaction there. Since
Yeah.
you got
Anytime
back.
we go see her,
Well,
it's some
we did,
dire
but, like,
emergency.
Yeah, we had
Okay,
to
I
confer
love
about emergencies.
I love the fact that like probably next time we see Hecate, it's just everyone is dating Cynthia.
By the way, we're all dating. Yeah.
Except
Super
Joe.
daughter has 3 girlfriends now. We might all get married. Who knows?
Bye.
I feel like I predicted correctly when I said that somehow Joe was going to end up the straight man of the group.
I mean,
We knew that
We
from
are.
the beginning.
Oh,
Yes.
we knew that.
I mean that both is in like orientation and also in just like position in terms of like comedy and insanity.
Fair.
Because I feel like despite the fact that Joe's got his own host of issues, he's like the person who's most grounded.
And somehow he's still the most mentally ill of all of
Yep.
us. So
I think that there's
that's a whole feat.
a certain level of sanity that Cynthia has gained from leaning into the crazy rather than just rather than trying to fight it.
That's what Roxy does. I mean, she's just like, this
Joe-
is the way I am, and
Joe still
I
cares enough
accept it
to
and I
have
love it.
mental illness.
Yeah, the rest of us gave away all our fucks a hot minute ago, so Sylvie didn't even have them. That's not a thing that the Fae gets. So, like,
What about
Don't have
Elena?
homegrown Starbucks.
Do you have an
Elena is
idea?
also going to grow closer to Cynthia.
Aw.
Okay. Cynthia has influence, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clear angry finally.
Nice.
But we'll see
I
what
haven't you been
happens.
angry for like most
Yeah,
of this
I
game.
cleared it at one point and then I got
Immediately got it back?
teleported
I
into a
love
different
it.
dimension and that
And that
just made
pissed
her
her off.
angry again.
Well, yeah,
I did.
because that guy was like yelling at you,
Yeah,
and
it's
you
very
know, you
stressful.
wanted to squish his head like a grate. That's a reasonable. It's
Mhm.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anger.
Where are we shifting?
Oh. It's me
More
shifting
shifting.
now. I
Yes.
am awake. So awake.
we're
You've
almost
had
there.
so many labels to shift today.
Yeah.
We're so close.
Adjust me.
Hmm.
Cynthia loves and respects Elena, but we are probably going to have to go.
Back to the junkyard.
For now, I'm gonna say danger up, savior down.
Okay.
With sort of this fact that Elena's thinking, we need more practice. We need a lot more practice.
We
So
were
you-
practicing
yeah.
a lot while you were solving problems in the team
Is
room. Like
actually a little helpful because my danger was at -2.
she was floating Calamity, and Calamity was just doing like
Okay.
random like spins in the air.
Mhm.
I love that.
Like in the background of you talking to Joe, that was what was happening.
I'm very here for this.
No
Um,
condition.
Nice.
You have no conditions?
I
Oh,
cleared
man.
angry.
Mm.
For the first time in a long time.
Going
I was
into
about to
next
say.
week with no conditions. Let's see how many I come out
Damn.
with.
Collect them all.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, we're gonna be Pokemon of conditions. I like it.
Condition mon. Whoops.
Yes.
So I think Roxy grew into you. I went back and forth between like growing into her own self-image and feeling closer to the team. But I do think that she feels closer to the team because she got another girlfriend today, which makes her unreasonably happy because when she saw Sylvie in the suit, she was like, we have a problem. I'm gonna have to have a talk with Tony because I think she's
Oh.
mine, not his.
Oh no.
But
I love
also,
this.
yeah, but also like the teamwork was really stellar. And even though Elena had kind of an off day, like it felt good for Roxy to like be able to like not make up for like other things, but like, you know, Cynthia was able to stop the glass from like hurting anybody, and like we were able to like kind of compliment each other, and that felt really good. She was a little disconcerted by Sylvie killing the guy, but she made it better, and Loki was not going to tell anybody that he died. She was gonna have to bully Watchdog.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
I don't think she would have been able to, but that was her biggest concern, is that Watchdog's gonna fucking tell because he could hear it. She's like, fuck. But she was like, but she also like Elena and Sylvie kind of losing control like humanizes them a little bit. Not that Sylvie is human, but it makes you feel better. Like, we all have bad days, and we all are, not
Sometimes
perfect.
you just kill a guy.
Sometimes, well, on purpose, because he hurt your girlfriend. So
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's hard to argue with that logic, but also
As a player, I love this, I will
Yeah.
say.
yeah. I love that bloodthirsty vengeance, honestly. But yeah, so I think that made her feel good about that. And her and Joe like didn't totally fuck up the interview, like talking to the police and stuff, which was good. It was really good. She babbled a lot, and then he strung it together into a coherent whatever, and that was great too, actually. And that was a role that normally Cynthia would not let her take.
Mm-hmm.
She would never let Roxy be the one to talk to the people and be the face for a hot second.
She's like, I am trusting you.
Yeah. We kept it together.
Cynthia's very proud of her.
Yeah. She did a lot of omitting, but she kept it together.
Lies of omission are sometimes the best lies.
Yeah. And Joe just sort of made it fluent and coherent, because it was. She's like,
See,
fuck,
the thing
suck
is,
lying.
I don't know if you noticed, but Joe's got some experience with lying.
I know. I was.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed.
Roxy's a shit liar, so that was good, because she was like, this one and that happened, and seaweed kelp stuff person. That was them. This happened because that happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so
playing the part of Calamity Translator.
Yeah. She's just making wild gestures and like saying words, and you're just like, and what she means to say is this.
I will say I am looking forward to Watchdog confronting this when he gets
I
there.
am too. I'm like, the tension, we're gonna be able to cut it, like, but then he's gonna hear about like the 8 million other problems we have, and he's gonna be like, what the fuck happened while I was
But he's
gone
already
for
got-
like a
Unless he
fucking
doesn't
now.
tip the plants, then he's never getting out of that elevator.
Oh yeah, that's true. She did tell him that she taught the plants capitalism.
You
I don't
gotta
think
tip
she.
him.
I don't think
Yeah.
she explicitly told him that he would have to provide a cash tip for the plants. So
Well, it's especially because there's the potential that Sylvie's going to be very angry with him on top of the plants. So,
Okay.
Ooh.
So in growing
Uh-oh.
closer to
Sorry.
the team, which person specifically is
Oh.
Roxy giving influence to?
I'm gonna give it to them all, because you can give influence at any time.
Oh.
Okay.
Sneaky.
There, I guess.
So
Okay.
I did do it.
literally
It's
everyone
sneaky.
gets to shift Roxy's labels.
And I'm gonna
Well,
clear a
I
brain for a
don't
hot
believe I
minute.
had influence, did I?
You lost it. Did you get it back?
Yeah.
He
Oh,
lost it
that's
while
right,
we were in the
okay.
alternate
Oh.
dimension.
I
Did
did
he lose
not.
it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you
Took it
did.
from me.
You
I
did.
never got
He
it
got
back.
Did he?
So I got that back
No.
now.
You're earning the
Because we
trust
hadn't-
back.
We hadn't seen him since.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
until
yeah, because
just
he
now.
was. Because after he yelled at Cynthia, she was really mad.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
She
feel like
was
this is
upset that he was being selfish, like when Cynthia like was going through a lot.
The rest of y'all get the shifty, but I just
Yeah.
get that status back.
this
Yeah.
is potentially very dangerous.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I know. I've cleared a condition, but I'm fully ready to mark another one.
You have
I
at
feel
least
like-
one label locked, so that's helpful.
That
I
is
feel like
helpful.
I feel like for fairness sake, y'all should probably like declare it all at once. Just so we're not fully gaming the system here. I don't know.
Everybody shout They're
Label-
my God.
What is your lock label, Jenna? First of all,
danger, isn't it?
It's danger.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am a 3 danger, and that is not changing.
That's
You're welcome.
true.
You're welcome, everyone.
Maximum danger.
Which means that she fully perceives herself as a threat to everyone around her.
Yes.
Vibes.
Fair.
Cynthia's just like hot.
Yes.
What, Boone?
Okay, so
Do
what
you
we
want a
can do is
cracker?
everyone take a minute to think about what you want to shift, and let me know when you're ready, and we'll go around one at a time.
Here.
And then
Or
we'll wait,
you
we'll
could
wait
each
until
just
everyone.
text them to me on Discord, and then like I'll read them out.
I think
total?
that's probably fair because then
Yeah, that's-
none of us know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Just everybody send me a Discord message with what you're gonna shift, and then I will.
For those of you in Twitch, play along. Guess how Roxy's gonna shift.
So many
Jenna-
fucking shifts.
Is this in the Masks channel, or are we just sending
No,
to you directly?
I'm just
I'm just-
DMing
Just send it in
Okay.
a direct message. That way
Okay.
nobody else can see it.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
This
not
is
how you spell that.
chaos.
This is chaos.
And I'm so sorry if that is going to mess you up.
I feel like that was partially
You
the
have crackers
intention.
stuck in your teeth, buddy. Yeah.
This is good. So Elena is
Wait,
no.
I gotta send you mine.
Oh,
first.
you gotta send it to me.
What
okay.
if we all picked the same thing besides the hive mind activating?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just go up 3
I
things?
get a million
Yeah,
conditions.
Okay.
And then
So
Joe's
basically, if-
gonna get there and Roxy's gonna be a hot fucking mess.
I was
It's
about to
just
say,
fair.
so basically in the span between like leaving the event and getting to the base, Roxy's just become a hot mess.
Sylvie killed somebody, but is totally okay about it.
No.
Is no
She's
longer angry.
totally
She's
fine
hella
with-
guilty, but she did it for the right reasons. Elena's fine? Question mark. Roxy's
I don't think
sobbing
Elena's
into her
fine.
lasagna.
No.
No, that's fine.
Actually, that was the first time Watchdog really saw her like kind of break down and like lose it, you know?
He
That'll
shows
be
up in
interesting.
3 hours.
So Easy Living said savior up and mundane down, and my savior cannot go up, so I take a condition.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We all
no.
take savior. Good thing you
We'll
cleared
go
conditions, huh?
with.
I fully knew I was gonna have to clear a fucking condition before I gave everybody influence. This is why you don't give everybody influence at the same time.
Yeah.
Go with afraid.
I thought it'd be fun and
Afraid.
chaos.
Hear that?
We'll go with afraid. Okay.
Yep.
Back
That
to
make
afraid.
tracks. I intended on not blowing things up in combat. throwing
Actually,
it to my
I'm
own
already
numbers, but
afraid
here we
because
are.
I cleared angry.
Oh,
Do
I
you
thought
want me to
didn't have
take
any
insecure?
Sure. I didn't know you had afraid merch, so I thought you didn't
I
have any
took
conditions.
I took afraid when I did the thing where it's got my powers have a mind of their own.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
they just kind of like do whatever fucking weird ass shit. Like
Right.
but I have to take a condition
Yeah.
in order to use that. So I
like
took
got the
afraid
skipper
because I was like,
everything.
oh fuck, she killed him. So she was freaking out
That's
a little
fair.
bit. So do you want insecure is the one you wanted me to mark?
That'll work.
Okay, so the next one is Sylvie, and Sylvie also said savior up, which
All right.
Strike
also
two.
cannot go up.
We'll go with guilty.
Guilty. Yes. Okay. Guilt.
And suddenly we see the toll being the heart of the team takes on you.
Yeah.
And Roxy has a breakdown. Here it goes. Here it goes. It's just too much. Everything's too much. Okay, and then so the last one is Cynthia, and Cynthia said superior up, which can go up because it's at a -2.
Okay.
And freak down, which can go down because it's at a 0.
Hey, we
Okay.
didn't get striked out.
I was like, this last one didn't give me a condition, so that's good.
Yay.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. I mean, Roxy is a good savior. I need to lock that fucking label. That's what I need to do. I need to just lock it.
Okay.
And Superior can go up, so they both are at -1. Yay.
And with that, that is all we have for this evening. I'm excited for the drama to continue next week. I wish we could
That'll
just
be great.
keep going. I want you to read the letter.
Yeah, I know you want me to read that letter.
We'll start with the letter and then we'll dump like a million things on Joe while he's still processing
No.
the fact that Valkyrie killed somebody. And
Joe needs to hear the letter, I have a feeling. Because it's about Joe's predicament.
no, I know, right? That's the first thing. We lead with that, and then before he can really
And then
get
we
into the
trauma
meat,
dump on him.
yeah, yes.
Well, he's
ye-
still processing this whole acceptance and murder and cult.
yes,
And
And
that's
he
it.
still
That's
hasn't
it.
talked with Henry.
And the cat, which I
And
assume
his
is somewhere in
breakup,
the house.
And
Lance.
also, Roxy may or may not have made plans to take Henry street racing with the girls. So
Well, not for a few months because it's kind of icy. So nobody wants to ruin their cars.
that's true.
Until then.
Too bad you can't teleport at will. We could teleport to like somewhere warm and then street race there.
Nobody took that power.
Yeah, that's true.
The cat, they can teleport. Who knows?
Teleport us to like a state that's still warm, and then we go street race there. Sorry, Joe, I can't talk to you tonight. I'm going to Houston for street races with the girls.
Gonna teleport to Miami for some pink slips.
Yes.
Gotta go to Tokyo.
And Joe's just like, I'll kill them. How many girlfriends does Roxy need?
Can't I
All
just
of
have
them.
one?
That's what she collects.
Oops, all girlfriends.
Yes.
But I hope all of you have a good week ahead of you. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the weather. Take some time for yourself. I don't know. And we'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.